Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app and bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
.710 ESPN.
Yes, indeed. It is a Bud Light Reaction Monday. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Be sure to pick up some at your local convenience store today, especially on this wet Monday. 4 teams remain. Ravens couldn't be touched by the Texans. Packers, what happened? The Niners advance. Lions and our friend Jared Goff get by the Bucks. And disaster against the Chiefs again for the Bills. Chiefs advance, which means Championship Sunday is set. The Chiefs and the Ravens, the Lions and Niners. 4 teams, 2 will advance on the road to Super Bowl 58. In Vegas, and we're all over it all day long. A Bud Light Reaction Monday on LA's mega sports station, 710 ESPN.
It's Evan Cohen, Unsportsmanlike with Evan, Candy, and Michelle. Now, mornings 6 to 10 a.m. on LA's mega sports station, 710 ESPN. KSPN Los Angeles, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
And here we go. The Travis and Sliwa Show is on for a Bud Light Reaction Monday. We're all over it all day long. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Especially after divisional playoff weekend, we're going to recap all the football, plus the Lakers win last night at Crypto.com. Sliwa was excited after a busy day of tweeting. And cue the golf music. Travis Rogers is live at Riviera Country Club. One of the most beautiful places in the world. As we get ready for the Genesis Invitational Tigers Tournament, and even though it's a little wet on the course, Media Day is going down. Trav will bring you all the sights and sounds as we get ready for the Genesis Invitational in just a few weeks in Los Angeles. Let's get to it. The Mid-Morning Spectacular, the Travis and Sliwa Show, your Monday right now.
Yeah! It is a little wet out here. That's not so bad.
Come on.
It's optimistic 2024, Travis, which means we're going to get this golf in one way or the other.
Yeah.
Maybe the other. We'll see what it is. But it is a beautiful day at Riviera, even when it's not a beautiful day outside. I'm in my element, Slee. I don't know if you can tell. I'm in a richly paneled room.
Sure,
I'm getting ready to be around golfers.
Yeah.
This is where I belong every single day. You should get me a membership here.
Well, I'm surprised you actually don't do more shows from there, and I'm surprised that that's not in your contract. Can I give you one piece of advice? Because
please.
Apparently you're only with us for 2 hours today, which is about 66% of the show.
I lobbied
actually
for
less.
an hour, but they made me work the second hour.
Actually less than 66. If you include the 112, the super crosstalk, everything else,
You're
we're
right.
closer to about 59%.
Yes.
Why don't you take a wireless mic and wherever you go, do the damn show?
I don't think they work particularly well in the rain, so I would hate to blow out any equipment.
Let's try it.
I think I'd rather be safe than sorry. You know how it goes. How was your weekend, Slee? You feeling good?
Weekend was good, man. You couldn't. For all the chatter about bad NFL games in the past, I don't think we could be really too disappointed from this weekend's game.
Most of them are pretty good.
Most of them pretty good. I know the Baltimore game was after the first half. They basically could have turned the cable out and just said, "That's enough of this."
That guy the guy makes the kick before the end of the half. I
know.
think that's a very different.
Could change
game
everything.
along the way.
Outman makes that catch. You never know.
Outman makes the catch. Exactly right.
You never know.
Yeah. How about you, Em? Roars to you. How was your weekend?
It was lovely because I did absolutely nothing. I don't think I talked to anybody the entire weekend.
Because of the weather?
And
really?
I think because I just needed a weekend to be by myself and to read my books. Sorry?
No movies?
No movies. I saw a movie on Friday nights, but I also went by myself, so I also didn't talk to anybody there. I just suddenly saw next to an older lady next to me, which is great.
It's perfect.
And then I... Oh my gosh, I'm going to tell a story. So on Saturday night, I had swam that morning, and then I, had a late lunch and was just watching football all day. And then I
like how she laughs as she's preparing her story. She's already getting herself.
I got so high that I ordered DoorDash twice. I ordered DoorDash once for pizza, once for Chinese food. I was
wait, hold
out
on a
of
second.
it.
Back up.
Okay, wait,
You
because I have
ordered
wait,
DoorDash
Trav, back up for a quick second before you back up. I want to be very organized with our questions here because I feel like this is
Oh, but I was watching Interstellar too.
an unbelievable opportunity to ask multiple questions. Please, you start things off here.
Okay, you ordered DoorDash twice because you forgot you'd done it the first time, or you wanted a second
I just
order?
needed more food.
Okay,
I did not want to make food.
No judgment here.
I
Good
ordered
for
the
you.
pizza before I got high. So I was ordering pizza because I knew I wanted the pizza.
Okay.
And then it came around to be like 9 o'clock. And,
so the pizza came at 9, or you were
pizza
done
came
with the pizza?
and I had eaten what I wanted out of the pizza, which is like 2 slices. I was making pizza for
When did the pizza show up?
Pizza showed up probably around 5.
Okay, Trav.
I ordered it early.
Trav, this was, and I appreciate you jumping in there because that's all I wanted to know. I just was curious of what's the separation in between to where then you're going back to DoorDash, and DoorDash is saying, is this a different person? No, it's the same person.
I'm living out that promo. We've played a lot. But I think it was like 4 hours in between of when I ordered. And in those 4 hours, I had started watching Interstellar. And obviously, as you do when you're high, you're watching Interstellar.
Sure.
And then I was like, F it, I'm really hungry still, and I'm going to get whatever the cheapest combo is at a Chinese restaurant, and it cost me $10, and I got my food there, and it was great.
Well,
when you
4
first started
hours.
to tell the story, I thought it was going to be like you got out your phone.
Yeah, that's what I
ordered
thought.
Your pizza.
It was like
you
back to back.
closed the order, and
Yeah.
then you reopened
That's
it
what
and
I thought.
ordered the DoorDash for
I
Chinese.
thought it was a
That's what I
race
thought it
between
was.
the pizza guy
Yeah.
and the Chinese guy,
Who wants
the
it more?
Chinese food guy, of which one gets it. Yeah.
I'd honestly contemplated when I got the pizza. So you know how, I don't know if you guys use DoorDash a lot, but I do. And so they offer, you can add another stop into this guy's run. It's usually like a convenience store or a grocery store, get like a soda or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, do I go get sushi with this pizza too and get a sushi? And anyway, I eventually gave in to my cravings and I got
for you.
both in one day. So it was a lovely Saturday. I did not talk to anybody, including these DoorDash
It's a
drivers.
good weekend.
Yeah.
It's a
How
good
about you,
weekend
Jorge?
right there.
I know I talked to you a little bit this morning. Buenos dias, first of all.
Buenos dias. I don't have a voice.
What happened, Jorge?
Did you gargle glass over the weekend? What the heck's going
on
I
over there?
I wish that was the case, but no, man. It was an intense game on Saturday.
This is 49er
This
related?
is a 49er related, yes. So I ended up at a bar, and then there was a bunch of Packer fans, and then the whole night they're yelling, "Go Pack, go! Go Pack, go!"
Boo.
And then there's some of us sprinkled around, and then fourth quarter comes around, and I'm running up and down this bar.
Sounds like Don Corleone over here.
Yeah, you're just flipping
was
off
fun.
people. Like, what were you doing, Jorge? What were you saying?
For you two,
It was fun. I got an offer that I can't refuse.
Let me ask you a question real quick.
Go ahead.
How much of your voice being shot
that's
is
good.
because you were screaming, "You suck, Purdy," at your TV?
I wasn't.
There should have been a lot of that.
I believe in Purdy. Like that's been my guy. I told you, I've always been telling you guys, big Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy.
Right.
No, but it was just like the frustration from the defense. Like all the open space that we're giving them. And then that final drive that made it happen, his run. It's when he made that run for McCaffrey to get that touchdown.
Yep.
That's when I lost it. When he made that, I'm like, yes, go, but don't get hurt, kind of thing. And I'm just screaming, and as soon as McCaffrey scored, that's where the voice was
I
going.
love that that's how his voice is lost.
So then-
Everyone's kind of running
so then-
to getting sick or anything. No, he's just Packers, Niners.
Purdy 49er illness.
So that I'm wearing my Warner jersey. I'm wearing my 54 Warner jersey, and as soon as the game is over, I take it off. I stand in one of the booths and I hold it up like this, like if I'm Messi showing it to the crowd, like that's my guy, But it was fun. It was a fun game. I don't have a voice, and then the next day, I sent you guys a bunch of food videos and pictures of what my mom had made for us.
We're gonna get to that. We'll get to because I feel like this is low key hostile. Like he's sending me these videos of all these unbelievable things that he's making over the weekend. I'm like, I don't think any of that's going to show up on Monday or Tuesday. Like, this is just everything that you're missing along the way. Can I tell you something, Al? Obviously, I'm out here at Riviera getting ready for the Genesis Open, or I should say the Genesis Invitational, getting ready to meet some of the guys that are playing in the tournament, that are running the tournament, get to play the golf course today. But I'm a little preoccupied with something right now.
Okay.
You're in my chair. Like usually when I'm not in the studio, I'm not working.
Right.
But seeing you in my seat bothers me a little bit.
I even brought my own I got this chair from the sales side. It's a little more support to it.
Are you take off your shoes and put them up on the table like the guy in Cleveland?
The levels go up and down.
Greg said we can take off our shoes at work and just put them wherever we want. He's all right with that.
Well, I'll tell you this, Trev. It's also awkward to sit in this chair and still be talking to you. Because if I'm ever sitting in this chair, you're at a baseball game for Michael.
That'll be Friday.
That'll be Friday. So the fact that I'm sitting here, there's nobody across from me, and I could still hear your voice, it's throwing me off too. How's your weekend?
My weekend was great. I actually made a little feast of my own that I made a little taco. Kelly had some of her friends over. She had a volleyball tournament. They were in town, so some of her teammates came over. Michael had some of his people come over. Got to hang out with Bobby and some friends and got to just enjoy the games. Ate a bunch of tacos along the way. It was pretty good, and I've had this to look forward to all weekend, so it's not too bad. And I got to see all 4 football games. It was my first non-working football weekend since the middle of August, so it was great. I'm had a wonderful weekend.
I thought you would be. Let's use example Lions-Bucks. I thought you would have used that game to go back through the footage of the Lions and the Rams. I thought you'd watch the entire game, catch all the pressers again.
Look, I'll be honest. Watching that game yesterday, it's like, the Rams are better than the Bucks, and I don't know if the Rams are better than the Lions. I think they're pretty darn equal. I think they're both pretty good teams.
Very close to equal. Yeah,
very, very close. But that thing was opening up. Debo's a little dinged up. Purdy's got the big eyes going all of a sudden because expectations are on his back for the first time in his entire career. It's no more, hey man, it's Mr. Irrelevant.
It's
cool. It's like no,
get to the damn Super Bowl and go win it.
No. Win the Super Bowl, right? Every other piece that you need is right there in front of him, and you could see it. He had pressure on him for the first time. So watching the Bucks and the Lions yesterday, all I kept thinking was Rams could beat Tampa, no problem. The Rams maybe kind of had a chance to beat San Francisco if things broke the right way. I kept going back to that for sure.
Just so we could follow up from Friday, how was your social media execution over the weekend with Bud Light?
Emily and Jorge gave me some great cinematographical. Emily, help me out here. Cinemological. What am I looking for here?
Did you say frackle?
Cinematography.
Cinemafrackle. No, but like if
we had a shot list for you. Like we were like, this is the shot list that you're supposed to do.
You gave me something. Okay, so let me ask you guys, Em and Jorge, how did I execute the suggested shots?
The initial shot was perfect, and then we needed more match cuts, right, Em?
Yes, yeah.
Match cuts?
I would have. Okay, Travis.
Got to match cut it. You just got to match cut it for the cinnamon.
Well, I know, but I'm asking you what it means.
Cinnamon frackle.
So here's what I think could be improved off of this video. Video, fantastic. Good job, Travis, for trying something new.
And your editor. Good job to the editor.
Whoa. That was the worst compliment I've ever heard.
I was going to say.
Good job on trying something new. That's an incredibly
Travis, you probably walked away saying, I'm gonna be in Hollywood by the time you thought you were going to be in a movie coming up on Tuesday or something, and that's the start of your review? I don't know about that.
What could I do? Take me through it again.
After
you've already crapped all over it. Go ahead and tell me what could be better.
I was explaining was to do a POV shot. So that you have a POV of you walking with the beer in your hand, with the Bud Light in your hand, because Bud Light's great. But instead we have you touring you through your house, which is more like, HGTV, which is great. But I thought you were going to go into the fridge, say hi, and then grab the beer, and then you had the view of the beer.
Oh.
That's what I thought you were going to do, which is fine.
You know what this is? This is a failure on your part.
Yes, you're not explaining properly,
This is you not...
Get him, Trav.
This is you not properly articulating your vision to me so I could execute the vision, because guess what? That would have been better.
And then have a narration over top of it. But again,
been
we have room for improvement because, you and Bud Light are like best buddies now, and so maybe you can do one in the future.
We've got a lot of, we've only got 3 games left, but we got a little bit of time.
I thought you were going to credit, I thought in your tweets or in any of your social posts that you were going to credit Jorge and Emily, but nothing. You gave them no credit at all.
Now I give them credit because they don't like it. Now it's their fault.
Oh, okay. I'm not suggesting anymore because the next time they're going to be like, okay, you shoot it, you edit it.
Yeah,
not a chance.
But Trav, those beers did look cold, did look awesome, and Bud Light on a football weekend is always great.
Here's what I can tell you for sure. And Al can speak to this, Chris can speak to this, Jorge can speak to this. Emily, you could have spoke to it firsthand, but you decided not to.
I was busy.
You will never come to my house and the beer will not be ice cold. That is a promise that I can make to every single person that steps through the threshold of my home, that when you go to grab a beer, whether it's out of my fridge, whether it's out of the cooler, whether it's anywhere in that house, it will be to the point where you can barely touch the can/bottle. That's how cold it's going to be.
I believe you.
Right? Was the beer cold, Sliwa?
Beer was very cold.
Extremely cold, yeah.
Yeah, very cold.
There you go.
Very
That's
cold.
it. All right, Bills and Chiefs gave us another one last night that has basically been what they've been doing for the last several years now, and it was more of the same, and it's going to continue to be more of the same. That's coming up next. It's Travis Slee live from Riviera for me. How about that? Little Genesis Invitational. It's all coming up. Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
It's Evan.
Day on 710 ESPN.
Right now, the Travis and Sliwa Show rolls on this Bud Light Reaction Monday on 710.
A Bud Light Reaction Monday for sure. It is also Riviera Day, Slee. One of my favorite days of the year. I can't wait for the tournament. Of course, that's coming up February 15th through the 18th. You can get your tickets at genesisinvitational.com, where legends are made. And I plan on telling my own story of being a legend out here in about 2 hours, Slee, when I step to that first tee for us.
Okay, talk to me. What's weather-wise? Like, what are we looking at? Okay, good.
It's looking like it's brightening up a little bit. I am being optimistic here. I think that we're going to get it in. We'll see. I'm looking out the window. I don't see raindrops falling anymore, so that's an opportunity for us. I'm very excited.
Good.
How do I look, by the way? I feel like I look good I'm looking at myself in the Zoom chat. I feel like I look good.
Yeah, you look
very
average.
posh.
Yeah, very average.
Posh? What do you mean, Em?
Like a little, you fit in with your surroundings. So posh is like the British term.
I don't know. I would have added some color to your beard a little bit. I'm not crazy about the undershirt, the collar underneath. I think you.
I think
you should have went. I think you should have went tank top. So I would. I mean, personally, I would have changed it up a lot. Trav, you look good, bro. You look ready to go. You look ready to go for some golf.
So, Slee, I know you don't keep track of this yourself, but this is the week you would want to do it. Our picks are in. You want to take a guess at who won this week, since I'm bringing it up early in the show?
Only you, if it's the only way.
Yeah.
That's the only way.
No.
Take
a guess. You got it.
Okay, look, now you're throwing me off here because the only time you ever bring any of this up is if you win if you win the week. So the fact that I won it, maybe that's why you did it, is because I've lost 39 weeks in a row.
You won the week. You won the week, but you don't have the lead overall. Do you know who has the lead overall?
I'm gonna go with Bergman.
Nope, wrong.
Yates.
Nope.
Let me keep thinking here. Morales.
Nope, me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why we're bringing it up. You had a good week, Slee. You had 15 points. Mm-hmm. You were clear of everyone else by a pretty significant margin. That brings your 2-week total to 22. You're right back in it. Okay. I had 11 points, which brings me to 24. That's the lead. So you're only 2 points out of the lead, Slee. Jorge, not a great week. He had 9 points, which brings his total to 22. And Emily had the most difficult week with just
the worst
7.
Week. It was fine.
She had 7, and she's 18, but she's only 6 off the lead. So we got 2 more weeks to go, 21 points a week.
24, 22, 22, and 18.
Yep.
Yeah, and now with getting a chance to win, 21 points a week, this can shift at any time.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, nothing is locked in. It's wide open, and we've got our Olive Garden date on the books. That's going next week, right? Next Wednesday?
I thought it was this Wednesday.
Is it this Wednesday?
I thought it was this Wednesday, too. Is it this Wednesday?
This Wednesday?
Okay, this Wednesday.
Get ready.
I'm in, and then when I win this thing, then I get to pick our breakfast spot, and I'm going to bleed you suckers. That's
how much can you bleed somebody on breakfast?
Well, I don't know if Nobu's open for breakfast, but we're going to call and find out. We're going to see if
we're going to go all the way to Malibu.
No, he's going to call Nobu to deliver it. Hey, the cost doesn't matter.
Whatever it takes, come on in.
I was rooting.
Why do we have a seafood platter next to the kitchen here?
I was rooting for that Bucks going for it on the 2-point conversion.
I almost hallucinated.
To be helpful to me because I was the only one that took the Bucks. I only had my one, but it would have swung you guys because you guys had big money on it. But
Slee had him at the top.
Yeah, that was
at 6.
Yeah,
that was everything right there. I wouldn't have showed up to work today if they got that 2-point conversion.
It was the right thing to do, right? Because you're trying to win the game. You give yourself 2 chances to either win or tie the game. It's what the Tennessee Titans did a few weeks ago on Monday Night Football when you're down 14 late and you're the underdog, quote unquote, right? You go for 2 on that first one because if you hit it and you get the ball back, now you got a chance to score a touchdown and win. That's exactly what Tennessee did, and it's what Tampa gave themselves a chance to do, only they didn't get the 2, and they really never made much noise. Mayfield threw that interception shortly thereafter. And, look, Detroit's good. I think that's something that took me a minute to kind of get to, that Jared Goff is pretty good. Dan Campbell's a good coach. They got a lot of St. Brown's good. Goff is good. Jahmyr Gibbs is good. Sam Laporta is good. Aiden Hutchinson is good. And just having the Detroit Lions be a good football team in the NFL just still doesn't make any sense, but it's true.
I'm kind of curious to get, are you watching these games? Do you care if Goff wins or not in the Lions, or are
honestly,
you not paying attention?
I kind of find myself rooting for him a little bit. Like, you know how I roll, Slee. At this point, once my team's out, I don't have a strong preference. I'll root against people occasionally, but I don't really root against Goff unless he's playing the Rams. The only team I'm rooting against is San Francisco.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks.
So this is. Oh, I'm with you. Listen, I was so close to buying a Love jersey over the weekend. But let me. I think the best way that I could explain, and I don't have an affiliation with the Rams, so it is a little bit different. But because the Rams cashed in and already won a Super Bowl, and Matt Stafford already got all the praise, and all the if there was pressure on the Rams organization and Kroenke for doing what he was doing, and Les Snead and Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford, it's all gone. It's everything, moving forward. I'm not telling you that they're not trying to add to that, but I would imagine that there's a lot of Rams fans that have no problem with Jared Goff having the success that he's having, which I think is a little bit unique, right? And maybe this just has to do with the story that
what
the
do you
Lions.
mean by no problem? Like I'm not tracking that. What do you mean?
Here you have somebody that was representing your team for X amount of years. You drafted him. You got to the Super Bowl, but at the same time, you felt like it was that quarterback that was the difference of getting to the next level and not. A lot of people were frustrated with Jared Goff when he was a quarterback of the Los Angeles Rams. And then that trade goes down. If they didn't cash in a Super Bowl, maybe they're looking at it different. It's like, well, I don't want them to have any success, but because the Rams already had their success, I would imagine that there's a lot of Rams that are okay with Jared Goff having the success. Maybe part of that is the story of the Lions, and they haven't been good in so long. I'm watching these Lions games as if I'm born and raised in Detroit. I really, really would like to see them continue
pro
to have
underdog,
success.
Though. Yeah, you like the underdog story. Like for me,
but Goff is a good story. Goff is
it is a good story. It is a good story. I just don't care if he fails or succeeds. You know what I mean? Like I kind of find myself rooting for him a little bit, but once you're off of my team, unless you're competing against that team, I can, because it's pro sports, college sports now, right? Everybody changes teams every single year anyway. But I don't know. I'm not rooting for the guy somewhere else. It is a good story. I'm with you. But if they get clipped by the Niners or if he beats the Niners, that's pretty good. But it's more because the Lions are in the Super Bowl, which is something I never thought I'd see.
Yeah, and I guess for me, maybe you're right. I am kind of buying into the story. I am buying into he got kind of ran out of a city, and then now he's having his own success. That probably has a lot to do with it as well.
Could it come into question, again, if Goff goes off and wins the Super Bowl with the Lions, could it ever pop into your mind the question of, like, could we have kept Jared Goff, and could you have gotten over the hump with him? Because he got over the hump with someone else, and then keep those picks that you gave to the Lions and use them for yourself and make your team even better. Like,
that's
if
why,
they won it, could it switch in your mind?
That's why I started the conversation with the mere fact that the Rams already got theirs. No, I don't think it will cross my mind unless this guy were to go out and all of a sudden win 2 Super Bowls or something like that. Just became the best quarterback in the NFL, and it goes on for 5-6 years. I don't think it crosses my mind.
That becomes, I think, a bigger deal if the Rams continued to be bad, right? If the Rams had posted another 5-12 or a 6-11 or worse than that, right?
True.
You put up a 4-13 or whatever it is, and you're in that valley for years, and then you see Goff and the Lions kind of cranking along. Even with the Super Bowl, it's like, okay, how long would we be in this valley? But they pulled themselves out of it in 1 year. That they went from Super Bowl champs to bad team to pretty darn good team, and I think the opportunities right there in front of them going forward are significant, right? That it isn't where you turn into the Chargers for a bunch of years and you're just nowhere doing nothing. I think had they been bad, then you're like, hey, we might have gotten there with that other guy and the picks, but that you punched your ticket and you got a chance to punch it again next year, I don't
and
think
you were
that
really
crosses
good
a lot of
this
people's
year.
mind.
That came out of nowhere, and Stafford's been absolutely balling out.
You know what's crazy? Better than I think we even thought they were at the end. Like seeing what else is out there and seeing these other teams, there's really not too many teams that you look at and say that they couldn't beat. It just doesn't really feel like that.
I mean, with Kyron healthy, it changes everything for the Rams. And again, hopefully that he's healthy again next year, and same for Puka. The core of those guys are great for that offense.
Okay. We are out here at Riviera. It's the Genesis Invitational. That's coming up the 15th through the 18th. Coming up next, we're going to speak with Chase Johnson, who will be playing in the event. He is this year's Charlie Sifford Memorial Exemption. That's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
We all love playing daily fantasy sports. Do what I do and take the sports action to the next level. Do it with Prize Picks. It's the #1 daily fantasy sports app. And obviously everybody's doing it for football playoff games right now. Basketball is in full swing as well. I already picked my games for tonight. So we got Damian Lillard for the Milwaukee Bucks taking on the Detroit Pistons. More than or less than 26.5 points. I'll go more than on that one. How about Victor Wembanyama taking on Joel Embiid and the Philadelphia 76ers? I'll go less on that one. Not as crazy about that, but this is how easy it is. You can make your picks. It takes about 60 seconds. I love the easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and a huge selection of players and stat options. Check this out, too. Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy platform with injury insurance to keep you in the game, even if one of your players goes down. Over 7 million sports fans have already signed up, and I'm one of them. So join me and watch your favorite players and get paid doing it. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. All you got to do is just download the Prize Picks app. Use that code 710. That's code 710 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
The most followed.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the fifth row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free!
A Bud White Reaction Monday on 710.
We're ready to go. We're ready to play some golf out here. I think I saw a half second of sunshine here a minute ago. It's not raining right now, so we're very, very excited to get out on the golf course and very, very excited to talk to our guest here as well. Chase Johnson sitting with me here at Riviera. Chase is the 2024 Genesis Invitational Charlie Sifford Memorial Exemption choice. And Chase, it's a pleasure to have you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, so we'll get to the golf in a second because I got Tiger questions, I got Riviera questions, but I think I've been insulted, and you're the right person to ask about this. The producer of the Trav and Slee show, Emily Hebel, is a Harry Potter fan.
I like her already.
As you are. I was told that I would belong in the House of Slytherin. I've been told that that's an insult. Did she insult me and I didn't know it?
So no, let's put it this way: the traits for the house, you're ambitious,
Okay.
but you're cunning. So
Is cunning could go either way.
it could
right?
go either way. So that one's up to you. There's good
That's
Slytherins.
what I said.
There's good
Chase,
Slytherins and there's bad Slytherins.
can we find more ways to? I would hate to compliment Travis. Can we find more ways to criticize him? I feel like it's not going as
planned. The
planned.
most evil person in the world came from that house.
Okay, now we're talking.
Okay, see, now I feel like I know what we're talking about. So I should. But I guess if I did what she's accusing me of, then she would be right.
Just
I need
own
to
it.
be okay.
Just own it.
That's probably the best way to do it. So tell me what it's like to get the Charlie Sifford exemption to come here and play at Riviera, to play on the PGA Tour, which you have done in the past, but to come play in Tiger's event.
Yeah, I mean it's an amazing opportunity. Tiger's always been my favorite player ever since I can remember. He's been my biggest role model with the game from playing the Tiger Woods video games. My dad taught me. He would pull bits from the game. If you got accomplishments, you won trophy balls, and so he taught me how to win by giving me like daddy trophy balls if I make a birdie or had a good practice or something. So I learned how to win with that, and he's been with me in the game ever since. And so to be out here at such a historic course, receive such a prestigious award from two amazing trailblazers for the game, it's a huge opportunity, and against a fantastic field, obviously.
The field is one of the best in golf every single year, and you just talked about what an inspiration he is. You and I were talking a little bit before we came online. You haven't gotten a chance to spend time with him yet. You were talking. You almost got his autograph as a kid back in Ohio in Akron at that event that used to be a World Golf Championship event. How close did you get? Were you like next in line? How close were we?
The way that the range set up, it was a very narrow walkway from the range to like the fan area, and they had metal fences, and I was first in line. I had the full Nike get up.
Oh, wow.
And I was reaching out right in front of him, and he was like 2-3 inches from taking the hat to sign it, and the whole crowd surged and knocked the metal fence over and almost took his legs out. And I've never seen a golfer run so fast. He was 30 feet away from me by the time I blinked, and that still haunts me in my dreams. But I did get to meet him. I played the Worldwide Technologies event in Cabo on first PGA Tour event ever on a Tiger designed golf course, which was really cool. El Cardinal in Cabo. It was beautiful, and I'm on the first tee. I played 9 holes that morning, went in, took a lunch break, got my hair cut, came back. There was a 3-group backup. I was annoyed, obviously.
Sure. But
then as it was my turn to tee off, I'm looking around. I turn around, and Tiger's walking up on the tee box. I was like, okay, you're Chase. It's not, hi, Chase, I'm Tiger. It's the other way around. And, it went smooth. I was standing there. He's like, hey, how far is the cover of that bunker?
So he's
talking to me. He's talking to me. So
yeah.
I snatch out the yardage book, pull it up. He was, he looks so intimidating. He's huge, man.
Big dude.
I mean, I was like, I need to get in the gym for sure after this. But he was super cool. He's cracking jokes on the tee box and stuff. And so hopefully, I can get the autograph during tournament week.
I like your chances.
I think I do too.
Yeah.
Chase, what's your thoughts on the state of golf right now? Where it is, the future moving forward. It's funny when you bring up Tiger, and I think we all go back to a stage of where golf was at its absolute peak, and of course a lot of that had to do with Tiger Woods, and every Sunday if he had that red polo on, watch out, and everyone was going to watch. What's your thoughts of where golf is today, and how you feel about it moving forward?
I mean, golf is such a great game. I mean, I think I heard earlier, the whole point of the game is to give an opportunity. That's why we have Monday qualifiers. That's why we have U.S. Open qualifying, because you never know who is going to be the next, icon for the game. And, moving forward, it was really cool to see Nick win yesterday. First amateur since '91 to do it.
Since
and
Mickelson put on that goofy helmet a million years ago, right? Yeah.
Yep. So I mean that right there just reiterates the fact that anyone can do it. Because
are there more good players than there have ever been before? Like a guy comes out of college and wins a tour event.
Yeah, I mean, you could see the transition growing up. I was an All-American out of Kent State, but it took me a while to kind of find my feet and learn my game. And I mean, you got so many guys coming out. Like the one kid from Illinois, I think he came out, won his first Corn Ferry event. Then the next week, I think someone else did it. And then we got Ludwig comes out and just takes over the golf world at first year on tour, Ryder Cup member, winner, and then you got this kid. So, the players are in. It's a game where the players can control it. So it's really cool to see them doing that, and hopefully I can make my mark.
Absolutely,
in my own time.
Got a chance coming up in about a month here, right here at Riviera. Chase Johnson is the 2024 Genesis Invitational Charlie Sifford Memorial Exemption. You talked about the backup on the tee when Tiger came up and asked you how far it is to cover that bunker. Have you arranged practice rounds yet? Have you kind of figured out like who you're going to spend Monday through Wednesday with getting ready to play the tournament? Because I know that there's some money games. There's a whole lot of things going on. How do you dip your toe into that pool?
Yep. I haven't gotten anything sorted for this week or out here at Genesis yet. But when it was fun in Cabo. My buddy that I always did my practice rounds with on Corn Ferry, he has his PGA Tour card, and so just kind of fell right into the same stride. His name's Harry Hall, good buddy, really cool guy, and so we jumped right back into our same normal money game for the practice rounds and had a blast.
How hard is it when you come out to, because you played on 3 different tours last year. You played the PGA Tour, you played Corn Ferry, you played the Advocates PGA Tour. So all of a sudden, you got a guy that is familiar, a friend, and you can kind of pair. It's an individual sport, but just having somebody else out there with you that is kind of in the same, on the same path that you are, just getting started, kind of new to the PGA Tour. How much does that help?
It's huge, and even with guys who have already been out here. So when I did my practice rounds week of Rocket Mortgage after I won the John Shippen Invitational, I played my practice rounds with Taylor Pendrith, Kent Stater, and Michael Gligic, who we all three, when I had my status and now I'm back out there, we all 3 play out of the same course in Jupiter.
Okay.
And so I just fell right into stride with them, and then my first round pairing was with Gligs and Tano Goya, who I played on Latin Tour with. So I played the first 2 days with those guys, and it's again, it's an individual sport, and you're doing your own thing, but it's always nice to have conversation down the fairway when you're walking.
Absolutely.
Chase, you originally from Ohio, right?
Yes, sir.
So what does that make? Is you a big LeBron fan? Any thoughts on the Lakers right now? I might as well squeeze one of those in if you're if you're a Bron fan.
Okay, so I almost went to St. Vincent St. Mary. I ended up going to a rival high school, actually. But, I grew up in the area. Got to see him play when I was a kid at St. V, and I'm a huge LeBron fan. When he went to Miami, I was a Miami fan. When he came back to Cleveland, he got our championship, and at L.A., I want him to win the championship every year. So I mean, I just saw, I can't remember if this was recent, but I just saw he got clawed up by Wolverine in a recent game.
Yesterday.
So, yeah, that was.
He's probably like Wolverine, too. He'll probably be healed by the time they play the Clippers tomorrow.
For real,
He'll be completely gone. He's from another planet. One last golf question before we cut you loose, Chase. Chase is here. He's the Charlie Sifford Memorial Exemption winner for the 2024 Genesis Invitational, which is coming up in February. You can get your tickets at genesisinvitational.com. How's your game fit this golf course?
I put a lot of work into it, and I'm going to see the course for the first time here in a little bit, but I believe I've gotten my game to the point where I can handle any course that I play. It's just a matter of just getting the ball in the hole and being patient. So we'll just do our best to execute and let the golf speak for itself.
So what is somebody like me who plays golf on the weekend supposed to do on the fourth hole that's a 240-yard par 3 up the hill into the wind?
You might have to study up on your Harry Potter knowledge and try and become a wizard.
There you go.
Okay, that's as good
answer.
of advice as any. Every time I step out, I'm like, this is a par 3? Are you kidding me? Like, where in the world am I supposed to hit this ball?
Good luck.
It looks like the Will Rogers State Beach bunker in front of the thing. You got to carry it 9 miles.
Yeah.
I don't know what to lay up on a par 3, I guess, right?
I don't know. You might need to become an X-Men for that one, too.
So I should be offended by Slytherin. That's a fact.
You got to take that one in your own stride, buddy. You can be good or bad. It's up to you.
Chase Johnson will be out at the Genesis Invitational. You can get your tickets at genesisinvitational.com. He'll be playing with the Charlie Sifford Memorial Exemption. Chase, it's a pleasure. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you, Chase.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I appreciate it.
You got it as well. Ask Slee. That's right, Slee. Just because I'm on the road doesn't mean we're not doing Ask Slee. Ask Slee coming up next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN.
Steve Mason.
is presented by our friends at Harrah's Resort SoCal. Find your funner state of mind with a visit to Harrah's Resort SoCal. Voted best resort in funner California. From dining to unwinding, you'll find fun around every corner. Learn more at harrahssocal.com. Let's get to it. Ask Slee right now.
All right, Slee, we're going to start with a little football-ish question. This is from Optimus Prime Rib, and he writes, what are Slee's thoughts on people wearing their team's jerseys while watching the Super Bowl, even if their team isn't in the actual game?
I don't have a problem with that. I mean, you're rocking your own squad. You're representing your own team. That's okay. And the fact that the Super Bowl is always at a neutral site, let me give an example. If Super Bowl this year is in Vegas, right?
Yep.
Okay. See a couple Raider jerseys out there. It's in Vegas. They're representing their team.
What if you see like a Tampa Bay jersey? Like they're not local, but they're not in it.
So I'm going to go back to this. Somebody rocking their team's jersey, I'm okay with. That. It's fine, right? That's your squad. That's your team. You're out there, and for whatever reason, you're at the Super Bowl. I'm okay if Emily's there and she's wearing a Pittsburgh Steelers jersey. That's okay.
I would never wear that, though.
I don't have an issue with it. What I don't want to see is who was the guy? The Marlins guy.
Marlins
man.
Oh,
Jesus.
Yeah, he sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, but what if
But he's doing it just to bother
I know.
you.
Yeah,
so,
I know. He's doing it to troll. He wins.
He does.
He won.
What if it's like the Super Bowl party at your house and someone's wearing a Packers jersey to your home Super Bowl?
Again, I got to be honest with you. Somebody just repping their team, I got no issue with. I understand that that's not the game that's being played, but if that's your squad,
aren't you trying a little hard?
That's your
like,
squad.
Hey, I like football. Look at me.
Yeah.
I like the footballs. I've got a footballs jersey. Look at me. I don't know what teams are playing. But I got the footballs.
So let me put it this way: if that person has no idea what the hell's going on, it's not actually a fan of that team, is trying to impress somebody, that's different. But if somebody that's like authentically their team, I'm okay with it.
But then why would you wear it? They're not playing. Like, I don't know. I just don't understand it.
That's your squad.
Then wear it when the squad's playing.
Okay, but let's say somebody goes and they wear their team jersey, but they're just going to the mall or something like that. There isn't a game playing. They're just rocking their team.
That's a little different than going to another sporting event with two other teams playing. But anyway, we can talk about the other side.
Emily doesn't like it, by the way,
I think
Trav.
it's so stupid.
I didn't think that she would.
Yeah, she doesn't like it.
Okay, so this is from Aaron Palmer, who's also listening to us from Lisbon. So shouts out to
Wow,
Portugal.
what's up, fool?
Spreading the good word. So Aaron Palmer asks, you and Lady Slee are putting together a dinner party for about 6 to 8 people.
Okay.
What are your courses? And what are the accompanying drink tastings with that? So let's say 3 courses and drinks for the night.
So, and we're actually preparing everything?
Yes, you're
that's
preparing
not
it,
good for
and
everybody.
you and Lady Slee are hosting for 6 to 8 people.
That's not good for everybody. Okay, I think I think food-wise, kind of some basics in the beginning, but a charcuterie board always, I feel like, wins.
Yeah, Lunchables.
Crowd pleaser.
I don't think Lunchables,
Lunchables,
right?
baby.
I'm buying 80 Lunchables and I'm putting it on a wooden display. I think a charcuterie board. I think guacamole is always just a key one that you can have that nobody's going to say no to. So obviously some chips, things like that. And then the actual meals, the actual dishes. I tell you what, because I think nobody says no to this. I'm gonna go Mexican food, and I think nobody has Mexican food, and I'm primarily just gonna do tacos. I'll probably do carne asada and chicken, and I know Jorge probably won't eat, or he's only just gonna eat the chicken. But I don't think anybody says no to that. I think that's kind of a pleaser for everybody. Trav, maybe some rice and some beans on the side, just kind of keep it simple there. Have the salsas. And then dessert, I'm going to go straight to dessert from there. And for dessert, at least for me, maybe I'm going to come in with some Middle Eastern desserts. I know that's a kind of a random pairing there,
You're having
but
a tour of the globe. You've
yeah,
got a little,
but that's kind
European
of me to begin
charcuterie,
with.
You've got some Mexican. You've got some Middle Eastern.
I
There's
kind
a
of like
lot.
having a little bit of everything. Cocktails, I'm not sure I'm a cocktail guy, but this is what I'll have for you. I'll have all the different types of liquors. I'll give you your options there. You're going to have wine as well. There's going to be, Travis taught me how to properly work a cooler, so there's going to be some good beers there. Kind of just variety, and then they could pick whatever they want.
Jorge.
All right.
Oh, no. Yeah. Just
Slap it. You gotta
blow
slap
into
I
it.
already did.
Yeah.
All right. So at the watch party that I was at, or whatever, the bar I was at, there was not Cowboys fans, Raider fans rocking their jerseys, so I don't know what their deal is. All right, Porky wants to know, if you could only subscribe to one YouTube channel for the rest of your life, which would you choose? It cannot be ESPN Los Angeles.
Locked on Rams.
That's
there
top
is a YouTube
two.
component.
That's top 3 right there. Actually comes down to, I think, 2. I find myself, there's a YouTube channel called Breaking Points. Now, granted, it's very politically based. I feel like if I can only watch one thing in my life, I'd like to know what's going on in the world. And I'd like to know, and it's kind of, they're 2 people that used to work within the news industry and then broke off and now are 100% independent. So I'm a fan of the independent media. I'm the fan that I get a chance to know what the hell is going on in the world. Is it sometimes incredibly annoying? Of course it is, because politics is annoying. But there's also other storylines that have nothing to do with politics. So I think I'm going to go there. The only other one that's really random as well, Joe Rogan's podcast and his clips that go on YouTube, they're so all over the place that it's not going to be on one topic. I have no idea what might interest me, what might not. So I'm probably looking at one of those 2, and then Locked on Rams number 3.
All right, let's try another one here, Slee. This is from Jacob.
Because there's a YouTube component.
There is a YouTube component. Thank you for bringing that up. What is the worst sandwich ingredient?
The worst sandwich ingredient.
Like, it's on that sandwich and you're picking it off no matter what, every time.
So I'm not a big mayonnaise count as in this realm, because I don't mind, like, some people, I can't have tomatoes. Nope, I like tomatoes. I think it makes sandwich juicy. I want pickles in my sandwich. I want onions in my sandwich. I want the cheese.
What about Sprouts?
I don't like mayonnaise. I don't care for mayonnaise. So mayonnaise for me, I think, is the one that if that one's not in my, it doesn't affect my sandwich at all. Sprouts is not a very that's not a very appealing one.
Tastes like grass.
Yeah, no, it's not
like
appealing.
I honestly love Sprouts. It gives a little crunch to a sandwich.
But why not go lettuce? Because lettuce gives the crunch. I'm with you on the crunch element, M. But Sprouts taste grassy to me. Like just lettuce or some arugula has a little more of a benign kind.
Give
of
me your Sprouts.
Okay, so this is, and it's kind of funny that you say that, because there's a lot of people that they just want meat and cheese and whatever it is. I like the veggies. I don't mind the veggies at all. The Sprouts one, I kind of get it. The condiments is where you kind of start. It depends. People are going to have a preference on what condiments to have, not have. I mean, mayonnaise is not the worst thing in the world, but I could 1,000% do with a sandwich and not have mayonnaise in it.
You got one more, Em?
Yeah, I got one more. I got one from Ondo who says...
Is this the Jersey thing or no?
Not the Jersey thing. I did comment back on someone who tweeted me about it. But when you have to take Rookie out in the rain, does he get some of the umbrella, or do you keep all the umbrella for yourself? Also, is he is he a water dog? Does he like water?
Okay, so it's a good topic in itself. So Saturday, I probably went outside, I think, once, and I did nothing on Saturday. I just watched football. It was kind of gloomy. We didn't have anything to do, so we liked it. So Rookie and I had to go take him to go use the restroom. We both didn't do an umbrella, and we both just kind of went out there and said, we're going to go make it happen. Here's the reality. If I have an umbrella.
For?
What's that?
How long were you outside for?
5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, not very long. Here's the reality. I'm probably not holding an umbrella over Rookie. Okay, Rookie is going to be fine. He's going to figure it out. Is he going to get a little wet and shake it off? Yes, he is. Golden Retrievers love water. Rookie is so scared of water, I don't know what to do with the dude. Pools, can't do it. You put him in front of an ocean, he thinks that's it. It's over. They're taking me out here and they're not bringing me out. The guy is so scared of water. I did not do a good job when he was a little guy getting him used to water. I actually jumped in a pool with him, and I think that has still to this day traumatized him. Yeah,
he's got pool PTSD.
Yeah, he's not
doggy
good.
PTSD.
Trav, he's not good with the water, brother. All Golden Retrievers, you go to an ocean or anything, go to a pool.
Yeah,
Retrievers are jumping in like crazy. Rook's like, I'm gonna sit on the sidelines.
They retrieve.
When
the bird falls out of the sky, they go retrieve it.
He doesn't do
that
either. He doesn't do that either.
You haven't taken him on your quail hunts? By the way, I'd kind of like to see you
quail
hunt,
hunt.
Slee, where you got the floppy-eared hat, where you're just kind of out there like Elmer Fudd. You got kind of the hat.
What if I was just
walking through the woods with a shotgun?
What if I was just an absolute sniper and you didn't know? Like, yeah, Slee doesn't miss.
I think we need to do it. All right, the Bills and the Chiefs. It is Tom Brady and Peyton Manning all over again. That's coming up next. It's Travis Slee, live from Riviera, the Genesis Invitational, February 15th through the 18th. You can get your tickets at genesisinvitational.com, where legends are made. Travis Slee, 710 ESPN.
And here we go. The Travis and Sliwa Show is on for a Bud Light Reaction Monday. We're all over it all day long. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Especially after divisional playoff weekend, we're going to recap all the football, plus the Lakers win last night at Crypto.com. Sliwa was excited after a busy day of tweeting. And cue the golf music. Travis Rogers is live at Riviera Country Club. One of the most beautiful places in the world. As we get ready for the Genesis Invitational Tigers Tournament, and even though it's a little wet on the course, Media Day is going down. Trav will bring you all the sights and sounds as we get ready for the Genesis Invitational in just a few weeks in Los Angeles. Let's get to it. The Mid-Morning Spectacular, the Travis and Sliwa Show, your Monday right now.
Slee, it is not raining.
Oh, great.
I'm looking out this window right here in front of me, and the ground is almost kind of sort of headed towards dry. So I'm optimistic that we're going to get a little golf in today. Of course, it is the Genesis Invitational. That's coming up right here at Riviera, the 15th through the 18th, where legends are made. You can get your tickets at genesisinvitational.com. And the dining room is full, Slee. So all the people that are going to play golf today, they are getting fueled up. And I walked through there. I told Chris this a minute ago. There's a prime rib that's the size of a rolled-up sleeping bag. It's the biggest thing that I've ever seen in my life, and it looks pretty amazing.
Well, I respect your walkthrough. I don't know if people know. You know how people talk about sometimes before the week of the Super Bowl or something like that, right? There's a lot of the teams, they'll do a walkthrough, and they don't want to injure themselves. They don't want to put themselves in a position where they're not ready for the big game. You're a walkthrough when it comes to these.
Got to prep, Slee.
Yeah, walk through these the food displays, the inside the clubhouse. Very walkthrough guy before you get out there and you do work and you do damage.
There's prime rib. There are burgers. There are veggie burgers. There are hot dogs. There's salad. There's all sorts of little sweets, whether you want cookies or any of these things. And they are less than a 10-second walk from where I'm sitting right now. So it's a trying time. Let's just say that in an era of trying to make positive decisions, in an era of trying to remain in a good headspace, just there is temptation lurking right behind that door, Alex.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, but a Slytherin, am I saying it right? Is a Slytherin, wouldn't I just go in there and just demolish it all?
What was your word earlier for the
cinematographical, something like that?
That's what it was. That's what it was. It's still my favorite word.
Yeah, it's
Bro, I'm looking on the weather app here. It looks like there's a solid window from 12 to 4. You might be getting you might be okay.
I hope so.
It's incredible.
It's not raining right now. I'm looking out. I'm looking down on the 18. Everybody that watches golf here in Southern California, if you've ever watched the LA Open, and now, of course, is the Genesis Invitational. You know 18 is that huge natural amphitheater right below the clubhouse. I'm sitting in the clubhouse right above that 18th hole, and this is kind of a high spot on the course, but there's no standing water, so I like our chances, Slee. I like my chances of playing golf better today than I like Josh Allen ever beating Patrick Mahomes in a game that matters.
Okay, could I say this?
That's about where we are.
Before that game started, did you have – I was telling Michael this in the pregame show, and I was like, Michael, why would anyone think that the result's going to be different than the Chiefs beating the Bills?
Right.
And, you know, and I guess maybe this just kind of goes with the territory of – until a team or until a player gets over the hump, you just never give them the benefit of the doubt. And I thought,
and like you said, the team part of it too. Like
absolutely,
it's as much of the Buffalo of it all as it is the Josh Allen of it all. Buffalo's been cursed going back to Jim Kelly and going back before that when they would win, 2-3 games a year. Buffalo's never had sustained success.
The reason why I think, especially because it's Mahomes on the other side, somebody who has done it, somebody who has been in this situation before, somebody has took you out of a playoff game with 13 seconds left to tie it up, go into overtime, and then get the ball in the opening drive in OT and win the game. It's the combination of all of that you can tell there was no Bills fan that was at that game yesterday watching on TV that ever felt comfortable.
No.
And I'm sure there were plenty of Chiefs and NFL fans that were saying to themselves, yeah, they're going to find a way to win this game, or the Bills are going to find a way to lose the game.
And this is probably also the worst the Chiefs will maybe ever look. Like, they do not have a great team around Mahomes, but Mahomes is incredibly special. And so this might be, if you're the Bills fans in your mind, the 1 year you could have done it. And the Bills were cruising. The Bills were playing really well, or well-ish, at the end of the season.
Well-ish,
yeah. Well-ish. But they still won it. But even to highlight, like, even put more insult to injury for Bills fans, that it's wide right is even the worst.
Of course it was.
If people don't remember, this happened in the Giants-Bills Super Bowl where Norwood missed it wide right. So I'm going to play the sound. This is actually Jack Buck calling that play.
It is a 47-yard try by Scott Norwood to try to win the game for Buffalo. Lingner will snap it. Wright will hold it. Norwood will kick it from the right hash mark with 8 seconds left, and the Giants leading Buffalo 20-19. It's a 47-yard kick for the Bills. Norwood assumes the position. Lingner waits to snap it. We wait. There's a snap. There's a kick. It is up. It is no good. Norwood missed. 4 seconds left. The Giants have won Super Bowl 25 by the score of 20-19.
And then this was last night.
If he has to make one for us, the game on the line, he will. 44 yards, Bass. No, he doesn't make it. Wide right. Wow. The 2 most dreaded words in Buffalo have surfaced again.
Yeah, look, both of those kicks were makeable kicks. 47 yards, Norwood. It's the NFL. Anything under 50 yards, you expect him to make it, right? 44 yards yesterday for Bass, and Emily and I were disagreeing a little bit this morning about, you thought, Em, that was just the wind that just pushed that thing way to the right?
It was going straight down the middle, and then it bared right because the wind was picking up right then. I think it was totally the wind.
It felt like it was right off the foot and then went way right because of the wind blowing it. That did not feel like it was particularly well struck. And it just feels to me like this is what happens when you're on the wrong end of this. This is what happens. Like, we could talk about the Raiders and the Tuck rule. We could talk about Tom Brady and a million different things that felt like breaks go his way. But I kind of want to go back to what Emily was saying a second ago about how this feels like something of a missed opportunity for Buffalo because Kansas City isn't what we've come to know them as through the first part of these championship games. Because here's why, and I understand Tom Brady went to the Super Bowl 10 times and won it 7. Patrick Mahomes has been to the Super Bowl 3 times and won 2. But he's on pace. He's going to the AFC Championship game for the 6th consecutive year. And and that's not the only part of this that reminds me of Brady. Here's what else. He's done it with a rotating cast of people. He doesn't take the same team back over and over again. There's a lot of commonality, like Travis Kelce is there for this. There are some other things, but a lot of the other pieces go through. Tom Brady goes through with Gronk. He goes through with Randy Moss. He goes through with all of these different supporting casts, different running backs, different receivers, different defensive players. The only thing that was really the same was the coach and the quarterback. Well, that's what this is too, right? This is Mahomes and Reed. It feels exactly like Brady and Belichick. You can move out I need some help. You need a Gronk. You need a Kelce. But the rest of it, we can kind of mix and match it as long as we just have those 2 things. And this isn't 1 year or 2 or 3 or even 4. This is 6 years in a row that these 2 guys have shown up and beat, sometimes it's Burrow, sometimes Burrow gets them. I think the Burrow comp is far more relative to the Manning piece of this than the Allen piece of it is, because Burrow has beaten him when it matters in the playoffs. Burrow went to the Super Bowl where Allen keeps getting knocked out in the divisional round. Allen keeps getting knocked out in these crazy
more
ways.
Like Rivers.
Rivers, he's never in the final round. That at least Burrow has gotten over in Arrowhead. We saw that happen, but this is not the beginning, or this is probably the middle of this run. The end, as long as Mahomes is around, as long as Reed is around, it feels like you can move every other piece around on that chessboard, and they're going to have a chance to go back to the AFC Championship game or beyond. It's
T-Raj,
incredible.
Sometimes it's, I don't know if I want to call it bad timing.
I think that is it.
And let me give you an example. Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, all these guys had something in common. They had to play in an era where Michael Jordan just owned the NBA. That's why they never won an NBA championship. And I think the Josh Allen piece of it and the Buffalo Bills, I at no point thought, and I'm just being as genuine as possible, I at no point was sold that the Buffalo Bills were going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I didn't care that it was Mahomes' first road game. I actually think that added to the allure, and I'm sure that Patrick Mahomes was like, yeah, let me go ahead and do one of these on the road and shut everybody
think I
up.
can't do this?
Yeah, I almost think that almost kind of played to their advantage. The Bills also just some idiotic play calls. The fake punt, somebody explained to me what the hell they were doing there. They got incredibly lucky that the touchback, the fumble at the 1 yard line, and the touchback to even stay in the game, because it was about to be a 2-score game. They were going to be down 10. I don't think it came down just to the kick. Of course, the kick is a big part to do with it. But I just...
They're going to lose even if that kick goes in.
I thought they just, no matter what was going to happen...
Because what was time? Like a minute and a half?
$1:45, maybe a $1:40, something like that. You're right. Yeah. So that means...
They're going to lose anyway.
Mahomes was just going to drive down and kick a field goal anyways.
Well, that's how you know that you're just, the universe hates your guts. Because it doesn't matter whether or not they kicked that field goal, whether or not it went through. They were going to lose because Patrick Mahomes was on the other side, and you left him a minute. You left him 13 seconds, and he beat you. What is he going to do with a minute and 40? He might have scored twice.
But Trev, that's where I think you playing that clip from 1991, which by the way, that sounded like it was from 1950, and it was 1850. Isn't that amazing? Just we play anything that's just 15, 20 years old, and it sounds like it's just from a different world. But that's why you playing that clip, it's not even, Trav, you mentioned it at the beginning, it wasn't even just this matchup between the Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. It's the history of the Buffalo Bills. There's certain franchises that are out there. That's why when the Clippers trade for James Harden, you won't stop talking about, yeah, man, but it's the Clippers.
And it's James Harden.
They're going to find a way. That's a good point. They're going to find a way, certain franchises that you're waiting for them to lose. And it doesn't matter if it's the first time they're in this predicament or the time that it's the 20th time. Until you get over the hump, you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt. They didn't get the benefit of the doubt, and the Bills did what everybody thought they would do.
All right, we are here at Riviera Country Club. Of course, the Genesis Invitational is coming up from the 15th to the 18th of February. You can get your tickets at genesisinvitational.com, where legends are made. More golf. Mike Antolini, who is the tournament director for Tigers event right here at Riviera. He's going to join us next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
It's Evan
Convenience store today.
It's a Bud Light Reaction Monday on 710 ESPN.
Right now, the Travis and Sliwa Show rolls on this Bud Light Reaction Monday on 710.
Al, I got some of the best news that I've had in quite some time. I'm sitting down and talking with Mike Antolini, who's going to join us here in just 1 second. He's the tournament director for the Genesis Invitational. And I said, hey, we're going to get out there and we're going to get to play some golf today. And he said, it's up to me that I can play as many holes as I want. So they're going to have to drag me out of here, Sliwa. That's
Mike, be careful, man. Be careful, because Trav he'll post up shop there for a couple of days if you give him the opportunity.
Yeah, we may do it. Mike Antolini, as I mentioned, tournament director of the Genesis Invitational. Mike, thanks for having us out here today, and thank you for the great news.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the first lesson there, though, Travis, is don't ask questions you don't want the answer to. I mean, what if I said no? What would have you done?
Well, then I would have went and asked someone else.
Okay, that's an okay strategy. But then if they kind of come back and defer to me, I'll say he already asked
have started at the top of the pyramid. That's
well,
probably
no.
not my best thing.
I'm here to serve. There's no pyramids here. There is an iconic view though from the first tee overlooking the Riviera Country Club. It's iconic.
Yeah, so let's start right there, Mike. I grew up in L.A. I've been to this tournament, coming to this tournament since I was, a kid and a teenager to college. I look forward to it every year. It's one of my favorite sporting events in the city every single year. I look forward to it. And in large part, we'll talk about the field in a second and all the great winners they have, but it's this place. Yeah. It's the golf course. It's the history that comes along with it. And just we're sitting here right now. We're looking over the 18th green that anybody that's ever turned on a TV on a Sunday afternoon in February has seen. What does it mean to get to do this event at this course?
Yeah, I mentioned. I mean, it is iconic. And a lot of times in the world of golf, those superlatives get thrown out. But this course and this property truly lives up to every one of those adjectives and superlatives. You ask, the world's best players at any point throughout the year, what are your favorite golf courses? What's your favorite tournament? And odds are you're going to get Riviera, Genesis Invitational. Doesn't matter where they are. They love it. This is a timeless golf course. Tiger says this a lot. If you think about the history here at Riviera, all the greats who have played here, all the greats who have won here, they've all hit the same tee shot off that first tee. It can't move. That first tee shot, exactly. That first tee shot is timeless in the world of golf, which is ever evolving. So it's pretty special.
Mike, for those who I'm not the biggest golf fan, but getting a chance to come out to the course, and obviously when you guys actually have the invitational and you can go online right now. There's tickets available. There's hospitality opportunities as well. Can you talk about just what an experience would be, even if you're not the biggest golf fan, but if you're somebody that's in and around Los Angeles, coming to an event like this, just what do you think would be the experience for those out there?
Yeah, Alan, it's a good question. Look, the tournament is not just for the ardent and avid golf fans. I mean, in essence, it's really a great outdoor social event where you can come spend all day with people that you enjoy company hanging around, whether you want to eat, whether you want to drink, whether you want to just take in the beautiful historic scenery around you. And oh, by the way, there's going to be some roars. There's going to be some cheers. I'm sure, Alan, if even we got you, who's a self-proclaimed not the biggest golf fan, looking at our field list, you'll find a couple of players that you kind of associate with, and you say, hey, I like the cut of that person's jib. I'm going to kind of follow them for some holes. Next thing you know, you're kind of matching up the holes, and you're saying, this is fun. You're on the 14th hole at the Genesis Lounge. You're getting some coffee compliments of Genesis. You're overlooking the tee shots. There's a roar. Is somebody going to win a GV80? Things are happening, so.
Mike Antolini is the tournament director of the Genesis Invitational, which, of course, will be played right here at Riviera Country Club February 15th to 18th. GenesisInvitational.com for tickets. And we talked about the golf course. It's the city of Los Angeles. Everybody likes to come and do these things. And then, of course, there's Tiger, right? You add the Tiger of it all to the tournament. That's just a whole nother layer of – we had Chase Johnson in here a minute ago talking about how he was his idol as a kid growing up, his inspiration to kind of really go after the game as a career. And I don't know if there's anybody out here on this tour right now, especially as Tiger has gotten older, that didn't learn to fall in love with the sport by watching Tiger Woods.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, Tiger has played a significant role in so many, if not all, of the world's, the PGA Tour players,
right.
be it younger or not so young these days, which is great. And when you think about his association with this event, first PGA Tour event as a 16-year-old amateur in '92, 25 years later he becomes a tournament host in an event that benefits his TGR Foundation, which has done so much to help kids from under-resourced communities pursue their passions through education. And it hasn't obviously just been Tiger. He's been kind of the driving force. But everyone who has supported, like yourself, Travis, coming out to this event has played that role. And it's a true celebration of his legacy each year here at the Genesis Invitational that we can really thank him for everything he's done for the game of golf through his hosting duties here at the Genesis.
Well, it's so interesting to see because we get an athlete occasionally. You don't get them very often, but you get one that cuts through whatever sport it is, whether it's Michael Jordan, whether it's Magic Johnson or whoever. Tiger's one of those guys. You don't have to be a golf person to know who Tiger is, to get caught up in the Tiger Woods hysteria when he was the best player in the world. And what's really interesting about him is even now, even though he, the injuries that he's gone through and where he is in his career, he is still the biggest draw in the sport. He is still the biggest name in the sport. He's not the best player right now. I would never say never again because he's Tiger Woods, but I don't know if I've ever seen that even when the best of his playing career is probably in the rearview mirror, that he's still the draw. Everybody wants to know, when is he going to play? Is he going to play? Well, even watching him caddy for his son is a big deal. It's just, other than maybe a very small handful of athletes, I've never seen anybody like that.
Yeah, there's continues to be, and I think this will forever be the case, so many eyes on Tiger. We had the Hero World Challenge of last month in the Bahamas, and when he decided that he was ready, prepared to play, the attention that he gets is, again, still unlike anything we've continued to see. But if you think about it, the game has so many stars, and obviously it's not just Tiger. There's so much talent out here on the PGA Tour. We just saw Rory win this past weekend in Dubai. Obviously, last year's FedEx Cup champ Victor Hovland, who's won a couple of Hero World Challenges himself. Scotty Scheffler, who just won the Hero World Challenge, world number 1. I mean, they all tee it up here at Riviera for the Genesis Invitational, and it's no shortage of star power every February. We're pointing. Things are happening.
Al, go ahead.
Go ahead, Al.
Oh no, I was saying you go ahead, T. Rush. You guys are. I feel like the only other question that I have, Mike, is
you're with us, Al.
Well, the only other question I have, Mike, is Trav gets out there on the golf course today. What's your expectations for him? Would you be disappointed? Are you shrugging your shoulders if he's not playing well? Just I want you to kind of key in on Trav a little bit here.
Yeah, so he doesn't know this, but we have a Trav policy. There's no one, whether it's a cart, a spectator, a random kind of person just out checking on some operation of the tournament. If you can see Trav and identify him, you need to stay clear
please.
of any holes, any adjacent holes. I don't want to tell anybody to be jumping in bushes, but
sure.
We call that the teepee. That's a Travis policy out here today. It's short-lived because, again, he's going to play 18 holes and not anymore.
We'll see how many I can get in.
I don't know what better way to put it than that.
One more for you, Mike, before we let you go.
Of course.
Mike Antolini's the tournament director of the Genesis Invitational, coming up 15th to 18th of February. Tickets available at genesisinvitational.com. Is it the course? Is it just that the strength of field is always what it is here? You mentioned it a second ago. You go down almost any tournament on the PGA Tour, and you're going to find a couple of, who's that guy that won it? Almost none of them here. Like, if you win this tournament, you go down the list, name, major champion. Good luck, field, course, what is it?
Yeah, I think obviously Riviera has a lot to do with it. Great courses, great historic timeless courses seem to produce great winners. You have to be a complete player to win here. You have to think your way around the golf course. And then there are, as we see, a few times throughout the year on the PGA Tour's calendar where it just means a little more. And this is one of those weeks where
especially now, right, with what's going on in the world of golf.
Absolutely. Signature event. I mean, it means a lot, not only to play here. Once you've gotten in, you've already done so much more than 99.99% of the world of professional golf. But to then take it a step further and win here, you know that you're going to be etched into the annals of history. And I think they all know that. And it's a matter of kind of, blocking that out when you're playing, but being able to relish in that fact if you are able to get to the top of that mountain as a champion.
His name is Mike Antolini. He's the tournament director of the Genesis Invitational. It is, as I've mentioned many, many times, one of my favorite, if not my favorite, sporting event in Los Angeles every single year. It's coming up next month, the 15th to the 18th. If you want your tickets, genesisinvitational.com. Mike, thanks for having us.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks for everything.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
You got it. All right, Factor Cap is coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. And Bud Light was brewed to be a delicious and easy-to-drink beer. Had a few of them this weekend. It was a pretty good weekend. Even when the little things in life are hard, like when the game goes into overtime, that means you have even more time to enjoy it and open up a fresh Bud Light. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local retailer today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the fifth row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free!
Hey guys, I made my Cleveland ESPN radio debut on
I heard
Friday to talk about what we talked about in Factor Cap last Friday, where Emmett Golden, put his feet up on the desk, which is insane to me still.
How did he defend himself?
He didn't really well. He did not defend himself well, but it's okay.
Okay.
Me and his producer, I think, are on the same wavelength.
Put it to you this way: that's a tough position to defend. You
Sure.
can't take your feet off, your shoes off at work. That's insanity.
He was saying, like, oh, I relax. I'm in here in between shows. I'm like, okay, Emmett, sure. But anyway, today is Guy Fieri's 56th birthday. Diners, drive-ins, and dives. And it got me thinking, you would rather go to a restaurant recommended to you by Guy Fieri or one that was recommended by Anthony Bourdain. So you would rather go to Guy Fieri as fact. All right, Travis, Factor Cap.
Cap. I would choose Anthony Bourdain. And I know that Bourdain's got a different palate, I think, than Guy Fieri. I like both of these guys, by the way, but Bourdain feels like he would find the spots that I would like more than Guy Fieri would. Guy Fieri's got a lot of spots that I've been to, and they're almost all great, so it's not that. But Bourdain's got that thing where he finds a little off the beaten path. It's a little bit more authentic, shall we say, in some of the places that he finds. So I would lean towards Bourdain.
Al?
I'll go fact. I feel like Bourdain is next level for me. I don't think I'm there, Bourdain's level. Nowhere near that level. So I think.
But he has like a wide range of things.
He does.
I mean,
one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things to watch from him is every time he comes to L.A. Back in the day when he would come to L.A. In-N-Out was the first stop. And he was, he talked about In-N-Out, like a lot of people do, religiously, how unbelievable it is. But I think, the dine-in, dine-ins,
Diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Diners, drive-ins, and dives. I just so enjoy that show over the years that I feel like there's more of a connection to him. So I would go where he says.
Here's why Bourdain is the choice. Bourdain likes to get wasted. Bourdain would go out and get sideways.
Yeah, he would.
Tacos, he'd have 94 shots of tequila, too. Mm-hmm. That seems like fun. Slap it.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Slap it, Jorge.
Yeah, I already did.
Isn't that unbelievable
It is.
that's what makes that thing work?
Exactly.
That it literally works every time he does it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to go fact on this one. I've been to a few places that Guy Fieri has, been at, and he leaves like this baking sheet with his they spray paint like a bake sheet, and he's been there. That's like a staple of like, okay, I've been here, I recommended this to you. I'm with Alan. I think I'm not at the level for Anthony Bourdain either, but yeah, Guy Fieri all day every day.
During the pandemic, Guy Fieri kept a lot of restaurants afloat. He kept a lot of restaurant workers afloat. He gave away millions of dollars. He is an unbelievably philanthropic guy, a really, really solid dude.
Yeah, anybody I know that's ever met him has always been just raves about him.
Yeah.
So yesterday,
he likes the Raiders like you, Slee.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, can get along like that. Yesterday, Jason Kelce was not playing in a divisional round game, and so he had the opportunity to go see his brother play. And he really took that opportunity. He was at Bill's tailgates, drinking out of, was that a bowling ball at one point? And then
this guy was all in.
He had gotten shirtless at one point in time in the suite, got down from the suite, interacted with the Bills fans, and he was on one yesterday. So you would have loved to follow Jason Kelce around all day yesterday. Alan, Factor Cap?
Oh, fact. The guy was, if he wasn't, whatever happened on the football field and the Bills and the Chiefs was such a good game. It was back and forth. It came down to the last couple of seconds. Right up there with that story is him. I think he was phenomenal. I love that didn't he take some girl that had a Taylor Swift sign and she couldn't, she couldn't get it up to show Taylor Swift. So he goes down there, grabs her and puts it up.
Girl dad move.
This guy was the man, and I think he's entertaining in itself, but very entertaining yesterday. I'm in with the Cam.
Trev?
Look, you guys know me well enough. Extra is not my gear. I would like to hang out with Jason Kelce if it's just him, me, and a couple of other people, because I think we'd get along. I think that there's some similarities there, but anybody that's working that hard to get the cameras on them is not my deal. It is not my jam. That level of extra is too much. I'm a fan of Jason Kelce's, but that was way over the top for me.
All right, Kelsey Hader. All right, Jorge.
I think it would have been fun following him around. It would have been fun following him around just to see him, because you don't see athletes like that. These guys are concentrated every week after week after week to do something on a football field. Once it's over, it's like, okay, this is what you can do or you want to do as aside from your job or whatever. I think it's just cool to like for him to
entertain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so.
I don't know.
I don't know if you guys saw this meme floating around, but there was a meme about Peppa Pig and the Buffalo Bills. All right, so Josh Allen has been appearing in Paramount Plus commercials alongside Peppa Pig, and so and Peppa Pig is a child's cartoon, and she has a little accent. I can't do it right now, but anyway, it's
well done.
It's Josh Allen and Peppa. And since that commercial had been airing, apparently either the Bills were winning every game or playing very well. So Bills fans were rallying around Peppa Pig, and Josh Allen. Peppa Pig was at the game yesterday in a mascot costume because it was also on CBS. But anyway, Peppa Pig, there was a meme going around that she was 7 feet tall. That she is just a massive cartoon, but in the world, everyone else is 7 feet tall, so she doesn't look as big. So, 7 foot tall Peppa Pig would be a fine receiver for Josh Allen. All right, Jorge, Fat or Cap?
Absolutely. And then if you guys didn't know about this, Peppa Pig has Peppa Pig World in Orlando somewhere. I thought about taking my thing because Mike's a huge fan of Peppa Pig, and she's growing up watching Peppa Pig. But yeah, she would be a perfect receiver for Josh Allen.
Trav?
I am waiting for someone to do what you're describing, Em. It's fact, because at some point, look, everybody's getting a little bit bigger, right? There used to be in the NBA where there would be a few 7-footers and they'd stand them under the basket. Now everybody in the league is 6'10", dribbles, shoots threes.
Do everything, right.
They do everything. That what used to be an anomaly, when I was a kid, William the Refrigerator Perry was a 300-pound football player, and everybody thought he was a freak, right? Oh my gosh, he weighs 300 pounds. Are you kidding me? Now every football player on the line is 300 pounds. The evolution keeps coming. Every starting pitcher in Major League Baseball is 6'5". It is coming. Somebody's going to take somebody like LeBron James, who might not be 6 foot or 7 feet tall, but is 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", and we're going to keep getting there. That's an athlete like that, and they're going to turn him into a tight end. They're going to turn him into a wide receiver. It is coming, that 6'10", 11 football player where they just hang it up there and there's nothing you can do about it. How would you guard Kevin Durant on a football field?
How would you guard Peppa Pig?
Yeah, how could you guard Peppa Pig? I don't know what kind of hand. Is Peppa Pig female? Or
Peppa is female, but she does have tiny hands.
Tiny hands. That's the only. Yeah, that's the only concern
I just don't know
here.
what sort of receiving skills she has.
Yep.
I don't know if she's got soft hands. I don't know what her catch radius is like. But the day of the 7-foot football player is not far off. I'm telling you.
Al?
I'm going Cap just because her wingspan. We got to have longer arms, Trev. That's the only problem is you're throwing it to the corner of the end zone. I know she's jumping up there, but now the length is where we're going here. So I'm not basically taking this way too seriously. I'm a real scout.
And also, she only tends to really wear dresses, so I don't know really how that would go with the entirety of the football playing. But I don't know. Keep your ears and eyes open, Les Need, for maybe Peppa Pig will be great for you guys. All right, so over the weekend, a news station, I guess what they were doing was they had news in like one box in the screen, but they also had like a ticker with like information in like a corner of their box on their TV. And on the corner of the box on the TV, it said the Super Bowl halftime show will have Reba McEntire doing the Star-Spangled Banner and has Usher as the halftime show. Super Bowl between the 49ers and the Ravens. And everyone was saying, oh, this is the NFL script leaked, and it's obviously going to be them. You believe even a little bit in an NFL script. Travis, Fat or Cap?
Cap, for one very specific reason. People don't like to go to jail. Right? That all of these conspiracy theories, I'm here for them. I want to listen to them. I want to entertain them as possibly true. Whatever the fantasies of, the Michael Jordan leaving basketball to go play football, whatever of those tall tales that get tossed around, I want to believe them, but I don't believe any of them for one simple fact. You go to jail if that stuff comes to light. And I don't think that any league commissioner, any television executives are dying to go to prison. They got pretty good lives, and I don't think they want to go to jail. So, because we're going to watch it whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. I mean, you've seen some of these numbers. What, Peacock had something like 20 million people sign up for their service or
Canceled.
whatever the crazy number was. Yeah, I know you
Canceled.
had 19,999,999 after Sleep canceled. But no, nobody wants to go to jail.
Al?
Well, I think the way you phrased it, you believe even a little bit in the NFL script. Fact, a little bit, right? I think there's times things happen in sports and people will put those conspiracy theories out
That's
there.
Convenient, yeah.
And, I think that there is, let's use Tim Donaghy as the referee in the NBA that is betting on games. I think that stuff like this never happens. Or even, Trav, I'll go, maybe the NFL doesn't have a script, but there's other things that could go on where the NFL either doesn't know about or turns. Do I believe a little? Yeah, I believe a little.
Jorge?
I don't believe in this whatsoever. I just feel like people start connecting dots as it gets further and further into this. All of a sudden, we found out about the how come nobody brought up the colors from the beginning? You feel me? Like towards the end of the season, it's like, it's purple and red.
They left too many clues.
Exactly.
They left too many clues, Jorge.
So it's just one of those things where like people start putting dots together, trying to come up with something, throwing what against the wall, and hopefully they get something right. So I think that's what it is.
All right. We haven't talked about any of those other games. We've only kind of talked about what we saw in Buffalo and Kansas City and how Kansas City might go to the Super Bowl every year from now until Patrick Mahomes' 45th birthday, which might be true, by the way. But there were some other games, including San Francisco kind of showing their you-know-what with their most important player. That's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. You're probably on the freeway this morning. It's kind of slow. Everybody's stuck in traffic. You're like, man, that's a good-looking Silverado. Oh, wow, look at that. That's an even better-looking Silverado. You have Silverado on the brain. Get yourself out to Rotolo Chevrolet, the #1 Chevy dealer. Dealer of the Year, 13 years in a row. How are they Dealer of the Year 13 in a row? Because they take care of people, because they have the best selection, because they have the best pricing, but they have customer service that you will not believe. It's courteous, it's transparent, it's upfront. You're going to feel great about your purchase at Rotolo Chevrolet. When's the last time you could say that when you went to buy a car or truck? That's exactly what you're going to say at Rotolo. How do I know? Because I've bought cars from Rotolo, because they've won Dealer of the Year 13 years in a row. That's how. Find out for yourself what all the fun's about. Go out there and see why Mike Capozio makes you the most important person on the entire lot at Rotolo Chevrolet. It's right off the 210 freeway, Sierra Avenue exit in Fontana. Tell them that Travis sent you when you got there. And if you can't get into the store, make sure that you go online at RotoloChevy.com. That's ROTOLO, RotoloChevy.com.
Steve Mason and John
Get through it. The Travis and Sliwa Show rolls on your Monday, a Bud Light Reaction Monday on 710.
Got my umbrella ready, Slee, but I don't think that I'm actually going to need it. I think that
Clear sailing?
Clear might be the wrong word, but
Okay.
we're sailing. we're going to take it out of the dock, and we're going to go out there and see what happens. It's not raining at the moment, but we'll see what it is. Should I check in with you a few times from the round, see how it's going for you guys?
Well, listen, we would love that. It's just, Greg's going to be coming in here, and Jorge and I were talking. That's just a lot of microphones. That's a lot of voices there. So just enjoy the golf course. You wouldn't check in. If we said, yes, please check in, you wouldn't do it.
Oh, then I would guarantee that I don't.
Right. And if I say don't check in, you're going to call twice.
Yeah, I'll keep checking in along the way. Jorge, let me ask you this. How worried are you about Brock Purdy moving forward? Because you should be horrified.
No, I'm not.
Really?
Really.
He looked terrible.
It's fine. It was one game. He'll snap out of it. Come on.
Oh, my God.
Well, yeah, that is some
I believe in
very
it. Come on,
myopic.
guys. It's my team.
Okay, here's the one thing that you can be reasonably okay with. When he had to have it, he did it. On that last drive, when he had to have a touchdown, he got him down there, and they scored that touchdown. Other than that, he was bad. Not just not very good, he was bad. He was missing wide-open guys. McCaffrey bailed his you-know-what out. Kittle bailed his you-know-what out. That dude had those big saucer eyes for most of the night.
Yeah, when Kittle dropped that pass down that drive you're talking about, I was like, we're in trouble for sure. No, but then everybody was able to kind of get it together for that final drive. I lost my voice when he made that run.
Yeah.
Yep.
That set up McCaffrey. That's when I started screaming, just went crazy. And when he scores, McCaffrey scores, that's when the voice was just
I think,
gone.
Trav, what they might have done, and we'll see what happens with Debo. Obviously, that's a big piece of what happens for this upcoming weekend. But sometimes you just have one of those games, and if you can get out of one of those games, which they found a way to do, that could be we talk about, it's not the best comp, but we talk about.
I think you're exactly right, Al.
But
I totally
Trav,
agree.
I think you and I both agree with this, the Dodgers and their runs. That if they could just get momentum, then maybe nobody can stop them. The problem is they can't get any momentum. Niners should have lost that game on Saturday. Yeah. There was, you look at some of the decisions. First off, just the way the Packers were playing, they looked calm, they looked collective, they looked like they belong there. Coming off the blowout against the Cowboys, I'm like, are they going to go to Dallas and at San Francisco? This is the same team that we were watching against the Rams, where you and I both agreed was one of the worst football games that we've ever watched, and they've turned it around like this. I was shocked that it was a game, and the fact that the drive that they missed the field goal, for some reason, they went for the kill and started. All of a sudden, they threw it 3 straight downs, where I thought they should have continued to run the ball down the Niners' throat. The Niners didn't have an answer for their run, but I go back to it. They escaped, and because they escaped, that might be that one game where it's like, hey, they got past it, and now, we'll see what they do from here.
I agree with the expectations thing, right? The idea that they were supposed to lose, and now that you kind of wiggled off the hook, it's house money's the wrong phrase, but it's now they're freed up. It's like, okay, we had our close call, now we can absolutely roll along the way. But I'll tell you, that did not look like the team that we saw through the early part
Not
of the
convincing.
season.
No.
When Green Bay had the guy had the long return and he fumbled it, and Green Bay recovered it, and that's when I'm like, Green Bay's
they're going to win the game. Yep.
They're going to win the game, because that was an incredibly lucky break that they were able to seize on.
One Packer there.
One Packer, and it took a bounce right
Perfect
into
bounce.
his gut.
Mm-hmm.
He landed on it, and that was the point that you started to think, okay, it's going to happen. But they survived. And that's the scary part if you're Detroit. Detroit's they don't have that boost of that crowd that's going to be with them. That it's, San Francisco's not the most, hostile environment to go into, but they are at home. San Francisco has a better player maybe at every position other than Hutchinson. They've got a better guy on the offensive line, on the defensive line, at the linebacker, and maybe the quarterback thing is a little bit of a draw. Maybe Goff's got an advantage there, but they are going to go into that environment for the first time and not have the wind at their backs, which I think is why San Francisco wins. But it doesn't feel like the dunk that it felt a week ago. They did not look good.
Let's put it this way. Let's say they get past the Lions, which most people are going to expect them to, and now you're in the Super Bowl, which for the Niners, everybody understands this is Super Bowl or bust. There's nothing else.
Of course
They need to win. They need to cash in. They've got close enough these last couple of years, but now it's hypothetically Purdy versus Lamar Jackson or Purdy versus Mahomes. I mean, I could tell, Jorge, if you feel okay with him moving forward, that dude missed so many, it seemed like easy plays. I'd be worried a little bit if I'm a Niner fan, just in regards to how Purdy performed. But maybe he gets past that. That's the one game that he got to sneak by, and he's a different quarterback. But whoever's in the Super Bowl representing the AFC, clearly the quarterback's going to be – they're going to have the advantage from a QB perspective.
All right, Slee, what are you and Bergman going to talk about now that I'm going to go play golf?
Probably just a lot about you.
Perfect.
Yep.
See ya. Have fun.
The Iron Claw. He saw Iron Claw over the weekend.
Al, you should see that. It's very sad, but it's very good. You should find a way to go do that.
Thank you,
Berg
man. Yeah.
and Slee.
Yes, sir. Hey, have fun.
Claw.
Enjoy the
will.
the course out there, buddy.
I will. We'll see you. Al's coming back with Berg, Travis Slee, 710 ESPN.
It's a Bud Light.
KSPN Los Angeles, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Listen to Travis and Sliwa more at 10 a.m.
And it is the mid-morning spectacular, the Travis and Sliwa Show on 710 on a Bud Light Reaction Monday. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up some at your local convenience store today.
It's a Bud Light Reaction Monday on 710 ESPN.
Right now, the Travis and Sliwa Show rolls on this Bud Light Reaction Monday on 710.
All right, so I was rooting for the guy. I mean, if he's going to be out at Riviera Golf Club or golf course, and he's going to be out there, and this is kind of his one of the most exciting days of the year for him. What, is he going to just sit in a clubhouse and look at a window of the golf course? Looks like it's clearing up enough for him to play.
Absolutely. Like,
yeah.
If he's going to do anything today, getting out on the course, please.
Yeah,
him and Morales out there.
Yeah, it's not bad.
That's
so
good. Bad.
That's good living right there. What's
Little
going on,
bit
Berg?
jealous? Not much. No, what's going on, Slee?
Okay, so you got a chance, I'm assuming here. You watch all the games?
Yes, of course.
Because right now we're at like the sweet spot, right? Where there was 4 games, 2 on a Saturday, 2 on a Sunday. That's
all day
arguably
couch.
the best. Like the only problem with this upcoming weekend, what the hell do I do on Saturday? Because there's 2 games on Sunday, and that's it. Now, luckily, I think Lakers actually got a game on Saturday.
Yeah, that's
Which
nice.
actually kind of nice. Yeah, nothing on Sunday.
That's right. That's right. All you do is just
put the
sit
pieces
on
together.
Sunday.
Yeah.
What do you order? What are you ordering for Sunday? And I want to know what Emily's ordering on Sunday too, because these are the important things.
And do you already have like that far of a game plan? By the way, I was
No,
going to say
yeah,
I don't have.
I've not thought
probably
that
there's a good chance. No, actually, I don't know. It's whatever I'm in the mood for, because I don't have to do pizza and wings.
No,
I've already
no,
talked
that
to
doesn't
them
have to be that
about
way
ordering
always.
sushi on Super Bowl. It's like it doesn't. Nothing has to connect. It's whatever I'm in the mood for.
Yeah,
so I don't think I have a game plan yet.
You might have missed the story. We talked about it on top of the hour, but I'll tell it again. So this weekend, I didn't talk to anybody. I was very much like was home.
shut-in?
I read my book and I watched sports and I texted people that I wanted to text and whatever about sports.
I even texted with her yesterday and
She said, "Leave me alone."
I got a one-word answer.
Well,
what was the one word?
Well, I said, "Hey, what day are we doing Olive Garden again?" And she just said Wednesday.
Yep.
And I was like,
I don't know what else you wanted from me.
What more do you need from that?
I don't know.
But-
To be honest, I wanted like a couple sentences.
You wanted like, hey, I'm so excited for this. We're gonna do it
I
Wednesday.
just wanted a couple sentences. Yeah, no, I just want to say, hey, Al, hope you're doing well. Thank you for reaching out. It's great to hear your voice on text. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, but I was I got very high on Saturday, and I ordered
you did.
DoorDash not once but twice. And
Was it
I was
edibles
watching
or was it flour?
Edibles, and I
She's a
also
double DoorDasher.
So I ordered DoorDash twice.
that
I got
yesterday.
pizza and I got Chinese food, and I watched Interstellar, and I didn't get it. And so that was my entire Saturday.
You didn't get it?
Okay.
Well, yeah, I also watched football.
It's a confusing movie, but also you were high, so getting fully understanding.
No, I probably usually understand it better when I'm high, especially for
Like
something
you're
like
more
Interstellar.
focused? More focused?
Yeah, because you can understand all the time jumps, and I was like, it looks pretty.
So
What's
when we
wrong-
first heard,
what's wrong with the double DoorDash, by the way? I did that yesterday on Grubhub.
I'll tell you why.
Double Grubhub.
I'll tell you why. Initially, when she said that she did 2 DoorDash, and I think you had even said for dinner. Like it was you even specified that it was for dinner. So Trav and I immediately thought to ourselves, okay, so she ordered DoorDash, she got some pizza, and then before the pizza even came, she ordered Chinese food, and then it was like a mad dash, which one comes first? That's what she was going to do.
That is not what happened.
The fact that
would be something.
Well, that's because she said for dinner. So we just thought, okay, she ordered it kind of at once.
Yeah.
She had a 4-hour gap.
Yeah.
That's a long gap to then order something
But
completely
it is
different.
the peak of laziness to order DoorDash twice in one day.
Yeah.
It is. I don't do it often. I probably only done it like once other time before. But yeah, it is the peak of laziness to order DoorDash twice.
So I call that Sunday usually. That's a normal Sunday for me. I order my coffee shop. I get a French toast thing and some coffee, and it gets sent to me, and so I get stuff for Riley as well.
How far is that from where you are?
See, I will drive there every other day besides Sunday.
So Sunday you're specifically 5 minutes?
Yeah. No, it's probably it's 5-10 minutes to drive there, which is fine. I normally will go, but on Sunday I want to actually just have it delivered to me, and then dinner
Again,
gets
that's
delivered.
lazy, but it's fine. But
yes.
you're
I
acknowledging
never
that it's
use the
lazy.
delivery services. I just never use them. The only time I use them, I ordered Thai food that dropped off at another Thai food place. That's a different story.
This is because you are better than us and not as lazy as us. Me and Greg are lazy people.
No, I'm incredibly lazy.
Especially on Sunday.
And Saturday I was very lazy.
Good. Did you?
But you still get yourself off of the couch, get into your car, and drive to a place
part's
because
true.
That's less lazy than what me and Greg do.
Yes.
Have you heard Don Corleone at all today?
Yeah, you haven't heard me all
yes,
morning?
I heard him all this morning. It's
Purdy,
amazing.
Purdy making that run. That's amazing.
You know, this is going to last, too. It's not just today. This is going to last throughout the week.
Yeah, the whole week. They've heard me like this before, or worse.
Yeah. Oh, God.
He was in it, man. He had his team.
I made an offer, I can't refuse.
Exactly.
His team almost went from, hey, this is the favorites to win the entire thing, to being eliminated by the Packers. So he's got a reason to
the game has 4
lose his
quarters,
voice.
and they played great in the last drive.
That's all that matters.
Exactly.
I heard Travis talking before. He's right. When you needed him to come back in that last drive, you needed a drive from Purdy. He did it.
Does that mean
It was mostly Christian McCaffrey, but sure.
But does that change your confidence level in him? I'm still going into their game coming up, and I know it's the Lions, and we should give the Lions more credit, but I'm still like, yeah, this dude, if there's one thing that's shaky about the Niners, I mean, you got to have Debo. Of course, Debo's going to be a big piece, but I'm not looking at Purdy and saying because of that last drive, they're fine. That guy missed a lot of – I mean, he had a lot of plays where you're just like, how is this guy going to win a Super Bowl?
If he looks like that again on Sunday, they lose.
Oh, yeah.
Because the Lions have been looking good. The Lions have actually played very, very well.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a very good game. He, by far, is the worst quarterback still standing. It's not even close.
Because it's Lamar,
Yeah.
Mahomes,
yeah.
Goff, and
I agree.
Purdy.
Yeah, and
Goff's
actually, I think
good.
you could have made that argument for how all 8 quarterbacks played this past weekend.
Yeah.
Purdy was probably 8th on that list.
Yeah, he was still 8th.
If we did it before the games happened, I probably would put Purdy above Love. But Love
I'm with you.
Purdy in that game.
I wouldn't have thought at all that Purdy was going to be that far behind the pack, but
Love, why not throw it away? It's first down.
Oh,
why not
play.
throw it away?
Awful
Just
play.
throw the ball away.
See, that was the whole thing with Love too, is that he threw
awful play
interception,
and there was no
It was
big
farty.
three guys there. Yeah. By the way, you just turn that corner, you can run and get a first down, or like you just said, live to see another day and just throw the ball out of bounds. I have no idea where he was throwing the ball.
No, I don't know. And across his body too. It was just the.
It was
absolute
literally
wrong way.
side by side the same interception that Brett Favre had thrown as a Viking in one of the
was it
playoff
really?
games. Yeah. So I'll
Where
send
he
you the
got
side by side, but
crushed
also
in that game, that's a Saints game, I think.
Yeah, the Saints game. And then also, even the Ravens-Texans game, it was 10-10 going to half.
I know.
I was looking, I was like, could both of these teams be eliminated? But then, the Ravens did their thing. And they
took
kept
over.
the Texans out of the end zone. I think they're the first team. They're the only team this year that kept them out of the end zone. And they did it twice. They did
That's
it
right.
in the
Punt
first game of the
return
week.
was their only touchdown.
Yeah.
And then the game that the Texans were eliminated in. But Stroud has a great future into the Texans.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I really like the Texans. It's just too bad. Like if they had a guy like Tank Dell who got injured earlier in the season, I think that would have been a little bit of a different game. But
bro,
Texans,
they had a
Texans
that's
had
an
it's good for
incredible season.
amazing
Rookie
season.
head coach, rookie
Nothing bad to
quarterback.
say
I
about
mean,
it.
and you lose to the Baltimore Ravens on the road. That's an incredible season.
I mean, that was probably one of the better games that I've seen Lamar play in the playoffs because usually he was 1-3, I think, in the playoffs before that. So
now is the test for Lamar.
Yeah. Oh.
Beating the Texans, no big deal. Now is the test. You got Mahomes this weekend, and then you get to the Super Bowl. Actually, I picked Baltimore in this game. I know we got a full week to talk about it, but I would expect Baltimore. They'll probably be favorites coming in, and then Patrick Mahomes is going to try to shut everybody up like he always does.
The same type of thing. Mahomes has lost in the AFC Championship game. Obviously, he lost to Burrow, but into Brady. But at the same time, if I have to choose a quarterback to
I get
have
in
the AFC Championship game,
I understand.
It's Mahomes.
I
don't even care who he has on the field with him. You can put like the water boy out there.
I just
He's
think
gonna find
Ravens
him.
have a better team.
Sure.
So that's the only way. We're not picking quarterbacks. If we're picking quarterbacks, you have no reason to pick Lamar over Mahomes. You just don't.
I was actually more shocked that Buffalo was able to run the way that they did against the Chiefs defense.
Yeah.
So they've been very, very good this year. So the fact that they were able to get past all that with Buffalo shouldn't have even been in the game towards the end. But either way,
They shouldn't have.
I
They got
think
lucky
their
with that
defense is
touchback
good enough to beat Baltimore. I think you're right. Baltimore probably has a more complete team, but I still trust Mahomes and the Chiefs.
Fair. Because we're never going to get a chance to talk about it again because Trav will refuse to go see a movie that Emily recommends, or if anybody comes in and says, hey, Trav, that was a really good movie, you should go see it, then he's not going to go see it. We did that with Iron Claw. You saw it over the weekend?
Yeah, I saw it. Really, Trav won't see it?
No, he won't see it.
Why? Just because?
He just won't physically get into a theater, one, it takes him a lot to do that, and two, because it's just, he knows he can't handle the story, and he does not want to be impacted by it.
Okay, that you've recommended.
That's fair.
That you've recommended to him. He doesn't typically go to a theater.
Yeah.
He might watch it on streaming, but he's not going to go to a theater and see it. I love going to the movies. I mean, obviously she does. Still.
I still go to the movies. I don't have no problem going to.
What did you think of the movie?
I thought it was really good. It was extremely sad. It was hard to watch, honestly, especially towards the end when everybody just kept dropping. It was
don't give any details, but
it was
really good.
It was.
I mean, it's history.
It's real life, so we can't spoil real life.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was.
I came in blind to the whole. Like I did not know the history. I didn't know any of the stuff. So, but yeah, really, really good.
The music is really, really good too. By the way, like the music in that, like the Tom Sawyer drop at the right time, it was all like classics. And they even put on Spotify. There's one of the Iron Claw Brothers, one of our Von Erich brothers, is in a band, and they released the song they sing at the party. And I've been listening to that over the weekend. It's great.
Oh, nice. Is A24 is the studio that?
Yeah,
does that?
A24 released is the production studio that released.
So is that? I mean, I don't know too much about it. I think you know
Yeah.
more. What is the whole thing behind A24? Because all of the trailers when I was watching, was all A24 trailers. Do you know a lot about that production studio?
Oh well, yes, they
basically. Are you an investor in A24? I think is what he's asking.
A24 has made some of the best movies of recent memory. They started off really indie. Now they're getting a bigger budgets and bigger things. Like their biggest budget movie is going to come out this year. It's called Civil War. It's going to come out in March. There's a trailer. But A24, yes, they made Everything Ever All at Once, won the Oscar. They've also done Moonlight, also won the Oscar.
Oh.
They do a bunch of these like smaller, insular, indie family stories. Minari is also a A24. It's all small, insular family stories typically, but
those
they're really
are all
deep,
successful,
well written.
Yeah.
A24 is Oscar baity, and I have multiple pieces of merch from A24. I'm a big A24 fan. But
very
because
serious movies.
I didn't know what the hell you were talking about.
But they also do
when you
fun
said it.
movies, yeah. But they do they did Dream Scenario.
They do
a fun
comedies?
movie. Yeah, they do comedies.
I don't know. It didn't seem like it from the trailers. Very serious, sad, tearjerkers.
I'm okay. Do you have a problem? Some people don't like, or if they go to a movie, they just want pure action, entertainment. I don't mind any of those movies. I don't mind you get me a serious movie or a movie that's making you think or anything like that. I don't mind films like that.
No, I don't mind them at all. But like, I need to be in the mood to go to that. If there's a comedy, I will go see that at any time. I'll go watch it at home.
Sure.
But also, we're doing a lot of things and around. I want to go home and I want to shut my brain off for the most part. So I will usually stick to comedy.
Problemista is going to be a comedy-ish.
Problemista?
It's called Problemista. It's coming out this year by A24. But if you are looking for a movie and they have it's from A24 or from Neon, they're going to be good movies. So just understand that.
I usually shut my brain off when I'm here. I just shut it off.
That's what we always
say.
say.
Such an idiot. Well, he usually shuts his brain off once the show starts.
Not listening, not paying, just gone, over. Can we talk about the Lakers?
Yeah, we can. All right, we're two plus hours in, and there's a lot to hit on with the Lakers. Man, they are so frustrating. I can't tell you how annoying Friday night was. You know what was even more annoying is watching them blow out the Blazers yesterday, because it's like, of course, that's what they do. There's a lot of chatter around D'Angelo Russell. There was some stuff that came out from Shams Charania this morning that I want to get into. And then just the frustration of watching Lakers basketball. They should be on a 4-game winning streak. They're not. They lost to the Brooklyn Nets. They treat these games so nonchalant. Michael Thompson was saying something yesterday about they just got to get in and they'll be fine. I don't really agree with that. I'll get your opinion on it. We'll talk Lakers coming up next. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show, Bergman in the house. All right, Trav golfing out at Riviera. Bergman in the house here.
Yes, sir.
How frustrating is this Lakers team?
It's extremely frustrating because that game on Friday, you're right. It was pathetic. It was very hard to watch. And then to turn around on Sunday and play, I mean, that's the way they should play against a really bad Portland team.
Yep.
But still, I mean, I'll put it to you this way, Slee. I know you want to get into D'Angelo Russell. I think his fate was sealed with that loss on Friday.
D'Lo's fate was sealed with the loss on Friday.
Right.
Why D'Lo?
Because I think D'Lo is the most obvious choice. I've been saying it since the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm.
D'Lo was brought back for his contract. I think it was despite the fact that he has a player option next year.
Yep.
It was $18 million. It was movable. It was a whole thing. I think he was brought here so that at this point you could move him. I don't think they were trying to keep him for the whole year.
Yeah.
And you could see it in his face after the game on Sunday. Like, you played well. You put up, 36 points, 34 points, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
Played really well, hit a bunch of threes. And then he was crying, talking about, or getting emotional, talking about what it was like to be a Laker. And then he's sitting on the sideline. He's upset. He's upset in the post-game press conference.
Are we
Something's
connecting
going
dots here, or do you think there's something there?
I'm absolutely connecting dots, but I think something's there. I mean, it's obvious they want to make a change.
Let me, all right.
Of something. It might...
let me sympathize with D'Lo for a quick second.
Sure.
Because, I mean, D'Angelo Russell, his entire career, traded to the Nets in 2017, sign and trade to the Golden State Warriors, traded to the Minnesota Timberwolves, traded to the Lakers in 2023 before the trade deadline. Every year that this man has been in the NBA, there hasn't been really a franchise that has said, hey, this is home for you. And we want you here for long term. We think that you're going to be maybe Minnesota, you can call it, but even
close.
Minnesota, they ended up shopping him, right? And they trade him to the Lakers. I don't know if D'Angelo Russell is numb to his experience around the trade deadline, but you don't even have to get to the trade. We were already talking about the moment he signed. McMenamin came on pregame show yesterday, and we're having part of that conversation. And McMenamin was like, listen, he gets traded to the Lakers. We know his performance in the playoffs, his performance specifically against the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, gone.
They go and re-sign him, and he doesn't have a no-trade clause. He has a team option in his second year. So the moment that he signed with the Lakers and you saw the terms, it was, this is a tradable contract. Yep. This guy probably gets moved before the trade deadline. I mean, every single year, this guy is a part of the chatter. So where he is mentally when it comes to that, maybe he's numb to it. Maybe there's a little bit of, damn, what the hell do I have to do to just be on a team where they want to keep me? That's my sympathizing with D'Angelo Russell here for a quick second.
Sure. I mean, the last 5 games, he has been as consistent as every Laker fan wants him to be.
So I guess that was going to be my transition. Okay, well, what happened in these 5 games? Because I can make a case that D'Lo in these last 5 games, first off, he's started for 5 straight games.
Yep.
So maybe that has a lot to do with it. He's played basically 35 minutes a game in those 5 games. Maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe there's a little bit of, I could get shipped out of here at any time. Who gives a you-know-what? I'm just going to go out there and play, and you have this kind of, I think we all run into things in our life where you reach a point, maybe you're really, really trying to get somewhere or do something, and you keep falling flat on your face. And then you reach a point, you're like, you know what, F it, I don't even care. And that's actually when you're most dangerous, and that's when you're probably at your best, is when you don't care about the result. You're just going out there and doing it. Why is D'Lo all of a sudden balling out in these last 5 games?
I think you have it kind of right. And I don't know exactly. I haven't paid attention to how many shots he takes every single game, but
he's been efficient.
I can see in his last 5 games how many shots he's taken. I think it leads to what you're talking about, just going out there and just shooting and doing what he wants. Last night it was 21 shots, 14, 20, 12, 26. Like he's putting up shots. He's putting up a lot of shots. That's usually that many shots is AD and LeBron. That's basically it. And maybe you can get 14 to 17 every time. 26 shots in a game. That means I'm just going to shoot it every time I see it. It's going down, so that's nice. But it sounds like, to what your point was, he's just going out there and be like, I don't care. I know I'm getting shipped out. I'm just going to go out and shoot my tail off. And look, and maybe it's a lot of, I am at my highest trade value right now because of how well I'm playing. Because he's been inconsistent for most of his career.
Look, that's why I go back to, you said you thought the loss against the Brooklyn Nets kind of sealed his fate.
Yep.
I don't think it mattered whether they won that game or they didn't as far as D'Angelo Russell. I think we kind of know what D'Lo is. I think for me, no matter what, even if D'Angelo Russell goes on a run in the regular season, and let's say he ends up a Laker the rest of the way, he's playing out, the Lakers decide maybe there wasn't a trade out there, or they didn't like what they were going to get back, or they decided, let's just keep D'Lo and ride this thing out. I'm just speaking hypothetically.
Sure.
Even if he does that, there's always going to be, yeah, but look what happened last playoffs. Yeah, look what happened against the Denver Nuggets. Yeah, are you going to be able to defend? He's basically playing from behind the entire time until he puts together a stretch or a run where Laker fans say, okay, he did it at the most important stage.
Of course. Why? I mean, that's how it works, though. It's how you perform in the most intense periods, and that is against the Nuggets, how he did not perform. So when you needed that performance out of him, you didn't get it. And that's probably – so what you're talking about before about, hey, he's never been able to stay at consistent spaces.
Yeah.
Is that part of it? Is it him, or is it the teams that are always just moving him?
It's probably him.
Because it's him, right, exactly. So at some point, these 5 games, if you're inconsistent all year, you have a set of 5 games that's like, it's really, really strong. Good, that's amazing. But
I just don't want to – I don't want to put the Lakers are 22 and 22 because of D'Angelo Russell. That's my only thing.
No,
because
it's not his fault.
So like we were talking about the Brooklyn Nets game. The Nets game – you had just won 2 games that we'd all say, hey, those were 2 good wins. You beat the Thunder, you beat the Mavs, which is, to be honest with you, it's a little pathetic to be that excited about beating the Thunder and the Mavs at home. I'm just being honest, it is. But that's how that's how inconsistent the Lakers have been this year, where we're highlighting those 2 games and saying, watch out, here comes the Lakers. Well, no, you were supposed to have a better record than the Dallas Mavericks. Thunder, give them the credit. They're doing their thing.
They're good.
But I don't want to put this on, well, it's because of D'Angelo Russell, Lakers sitting where they are. They come out, they approach games. I'll use Brooklyn as an example. They think they're a lot better than they really are. They're not that good. You're 44 games in. If you're 544 games in, that means you can lose to anybody on any given night. They've had a ton of excuses. This is, again, just my perspective. I'm not saying that there haven't been key players that have missed some time, but last I checked, Anthony Davis missed 2 games. Bron's missed 4 games. Those guys are on pace to play 70-plus games this year. Austin Reeves has not missed a game this year. D'Angelo Russell has only missed 4 games. If those are your 4 best players, they've basically been there every single night. I just don't want to look at this team, and I know he's a very polarizing player, D'Angelo Russell is, and a lot of people think one way or the other on D'Lo. Either they like him or they hate him or trade him tomorrow or keep him or whatever the case is. The Lakers are not 22 and 22 because of D'Angelo Russell.
No, it's not strictly D'Angelo's fault. There's
he hasn't
a lot
helped,
of he hasn't helped, and I think that's the bigger part of it. Is he hasn't taken them over. Like, hasn't been someone that's made them better. It's like D'Angelo, because AD, LeBron, Austin Reeves, that's your core. Austin hasn't been that great this year.
I think Reeves has regressed.
Yeah, he's regressed tremendously, and he had.
And that volume's not usually too high about Reeves. It's always on D'Lo.
I think it's starting to get the volume's rising on Reeves right now. I think I see a lot of it on social media of people being like, okay, I'm ready to move on. If you're bringing somebody else in, if you can make some kind of deal that's going to make this team better, because all I know is that this Lakers team right now, with D'Angelo Russell, with Rui, with Austin Reeves, with this core,
Vando, all these guys,
those guys, it is not a championship team. They are not ready to win a championship with this specific team. I don't think they get past the Nuggets. I don't think they get past OKC, even though you beat them in the regular season twice. I don't think they do that again. When it gets to that point, if it's this team, it's not there. So you have to make some kind of move. Now, is that move DeJounte Murray? I don't know if that's the right – maybe it will help, but is he that much better than D'Lo? I mean, you know better. You watch way more than I do.
So I'm gonna read a tweet here from Shams that NBA Central put together, but it came from Shams doing one of his shows that he does, and it's the DeJounte Murray and it's the D'Angelo Russell, and it's that conversation that's continuing. And I'll give you my opinion of whether I think that could be a difference maker or not. I think that's number one. The second thing that you just said, that this roster is not good enough to go make a run. Not everybody believes that. Now, I'm with you on this. I've seen enough Lakers basketball to where I'm not going to fool myself and think that last year they did it and the same thing is just going to happen. All you got to do is just get in the play-in tournament. Lakers are going to go on a run. Could it happen? Sure. It can.
Can.
The only thing that I'll tell you, you know what else can happen is they don't get out of the play-in tournament. That could happen as well. And if this year, which they're hovering around 9th or 10th right now.
Then it's 1 and out.
That's a big difference. Yep. Now you got to win 2 games. If you're the 10th, you got to win 2 games on the road to then just get into the playoffs. Some people think that they're still that dangerous. I don't. I'll read the tweet from Shams Charania. We'll do that coming up next. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show, Berg in the house, and Berg is going to also tell me why he hates certain NFL rules. We'll get into that as well. Do that coming up next. Stay right here.
It's Evan Cohen.
Next Gen, the official AC, heat, and plumbing company of SoCal sports fans.
You're as cold as ice.
Call 833-3-NEXTGEN, NEXGEN, or visit nextgenairandplumbing.com. Time for our feature we do 3 days a week at 12:30 p.m. Who's hot? Who's cold? Thanks to Next Gen. Boy, time for Who's Hot? Who's Cold? Take it away, Producer M.
All right, we're doing an all women's college basketball
Let's do it.
hot and cold, okay? Because
Right.
there was some important stuff that happened this weekend. So Tara Vanderveer became the winningest coach in college football history. So she has been coaching
College
for over
basketball.
40.
College basketball.
Sorry, college basketball history. So Tara Vanderveer has coached college basketball for over 45 years, and she just won her 1,203rd game when they defeated Oregon State over the weekend. She has coached women that played in the WNBA, including our own coworker, Shadea Gumake. So congrats to Tara Vanderveer for the fantastic career, and she got this really cool Nike sweatshirt or jacket over the weekend that had all the tallies of all her
That's
wins. So very cool. So she's who's hot.
Anytime you have something that said breaking Coach K's record, yeah, it's pretty good. That's pretty good. Obviously, she's done her own thing, 45 years. That's incredible. That's really cool info right there.
Yeah, she's the Stanford head coach, right?
Yeah, she's Stanford head coach.
So I remember, watching I'm a huge college basketball fan. I don't watch the women's college as much, but always during the tournament, you see it's number one Stanford. They're always that hot team, really good team in college basketball. So good for her, and it's great.
Yeah, 3 national titles. They're currently ranked at number 8.
They were always there.
So yeah, they're always in the conversation. So now time for who's cold or what's cold. It's rushing the court. Okay, so over the weekend, Iowa was beaten. Iowa has Caitlin Clark, the number 1 player in women's college basketball right now, balling out.
It's amazing.
So Ohio State beat Iowa by 8 points. And so, it's obviously a disappointing loss for Iowa. And Ohio State rushes the court. Caitlin Clark's trying to get off the court, so she's running as well, and collides with an Ohio State fan. Seems to be a little shaken up / injured because they both hit the ground, they both hit the floor, and then Caitlin goes off and then talks about it in the press conference afterwards. I'm surprised that rushing the court doesn't result in this all the time, where people get injured, people run into people, because it's so many humans in one space, and to get the other team out safely, I feel like is really difficult.
All right, so I think for college basketball, if there's a lane that everyone is going down, the chances, even if somebody's still stumbling and falling, it happens. And the cause for injury or something like that, I'm with you. And listen, I'm somebody, we've joked around about this. I think rushing the court, it's one of the coolest things to see. Yeah. In college, when you see it, they take down the field goal post, that whole thing. The thing that throws me off in college football is when there isn't a lane that anyone going, and they're basically jumping 7-8 feet down off whatever it is. I'm like, how is somebody not getting injured in this?
I'm not sure about in football, but I know in basketball it's banned. You're not supposed to rush the court. They banned it. Someone else over the weekend, a men's college basketball team, also rushed the court. Oh, yeah, it was West Virginia, Kansas, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they rushed the court. It is illegal to rush the court.
If it's banned, what do they do?
No, nothing. I mean, if you're going, you're going.
So
There's
it's not
nothing you
banned.
can do. But it is not allowed. So, but I think it's one of the coolest things. That was one of my joys in life. When I went to Colorado for 1 year, this was for football, but I rushed the field after Colorado beat Nebraska 42-27. It was amazing. I've rushed the court when UCLA beat Cal one time to go to win the Pac-12. It was amazing to do that on Pavilion. So I like it.
All right, 10 years from now, people still rushing? Or
Yeah, people are still rushing. I'm just saying this woman that ran into Caitlin Clark also had her phone out. So she's probably also trying to capture the thing, not paying attention to who is right in front of her. But again, I'm just surprised it doesn't happen more, because it's a horde of people coming at some other people, and that always results in
maybe Caitlin Clark should have turned and joined them in the rushing so that she's going with the crowd.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Not
Don't go
the
against the grain. No, I mean, anytime you're running around with your phone in your hand, you're obviously not paying attention. So I'm with you. Yes, you're right that I'm surprised it doesn't happen more.
All right, who's hot and who's cold is brought to you by NextGen. NextGen, the official AC, heat, and plumbing company of SoCal sports fans. Call 833-3NEXTGen or visit nextgenairandplumbing.com. We were talking a little bit about the Lakers. So Lakers got a game coming up tomorrow. They got the Clippers. Yeah. Clippers home game.
So Lakers home game.
The month of January, technically, yes. Is this their final one, or they got another one? And then we'll see.
Away game? So I think at the end of the month there's another away game.
With the Clippers? Because we're going to come to an end here at them and the Clippers playing each other crypto. If there's ever a year that these two teams cross paths in the playoffs, wouldn't it be the final year of them sharing an arena, sharing a stadium? Okay,
yeah, this is the second to last.
That's a separate conversation. But
they play them on the 28th.
Okay, also. Play them on the 28th. We'll get to the Clippers. We can talk about that tomorrow.
28th,
I'm not too worried about that now. We were talking about D'Angelo Russell, and we were having the conversation, and I'm going to read off a tweet here that came a little bit earlier from NBA Central was quoting Shams Charania, and this is what he said. He said, Atlanta wants to find a third team to take on D'Angelo Russell in order to complete a DeJounte Murray trade with the Lakers, per Shams. It's centered around D'Angelo Russell, a 2029 first-round draft pick, and a pick swap, I'm told. The holdup was that Atlanta wanted to find a third team for D'Angelo Russell. Okay?
Right.
I've always had difficulty understanding this trade. I've always had difficulty understanding the trade for DeJounte Murray because I would assume that the Atlanta Hawks can get more than a player who is, you can call it a expiring contract, not fully expired yet, but D'Lo doesn't have much left on his contract. He's got basically the remainder of this year and then a player option that a lot of people think he's going to take because I don't know what his market's going to be moving forward. So he's probably going to take it.
His $18 million, yeah.
If you were asking me, hey, do you want to trade D'Angelo Russell, a 2029 first-round pick, potentially a pick swap for DeJounte Murray, I would tell you, yes, I would love to do that. And tell me if I need to go help pay for a ticket
pack him up a little
to
bit.
get him in Atlanta. And you asked the question a little bit earlier. You asked the question of, okay, well, what does this do? Does this put the Lakers over the top?
Right. Is he a difference maker that is that much better
There's
than
no way
D'Lo?
of knowing whether DeJounte Murray comes to the Los Angeles Lakers. I do think he'll be the third best player on the team.
Yes.
I think that part will be solidified. I do think DeJounte Murray, if you're just asking me, a 27-year-old, that's going to put up, and he's not going to do this with the Lakers because, of course, his numbers are going to go down 25-5, something along those lines with the Atlanta Hawks. He's the second best player on that team. Him and Trae Young kind of go back and forth. So the dynamic's going to be completely different with the Lakers, but I already know what I get with D'Angelo Russell. I already know what that is. Bron is not 28 or 29 years old. They're clearly in a all-in mentality every single year until LeBron James decides to hang it up. If you told me that you're getting DeJounte Murray, I think for the short term, yes, I think he's a better fit. Yes, I think he's a good player. Yes, I think he's a better defensive player. Yes, I think he's more athletic. I would take my chances with that, and I think for the long term, DeJounte Murray is also his extension's going to start next year. I think he could be the third best player on a championship team. Yes, I do think so. So those are my reasons to say absolutely I would do it. I just don't believe that there are other teams out there that are not offering more for DeJounte Murray than what the Lakers are offering.
Well, there was somebody else, I don't remember who said it, but I saw it that it might have been Shams, it might not have been, but Miami was in on DeJounte Murray, and they're out.
Sounds like they're out now.
They're out
The
now.
price got too high or something like that.
Exactly. So it looks like maybe nobody else wants to get even this far with the pick swap and the first overall pick.
Can I tell you this? We are 2.5 weeks away from the trade deadline. I also think it's premature. I think the Atlanta Hawks, why would they not? The closer you get to the trade deadline, teams are going to get more aggressive. If the Lakers pull it off, awesome. I'll take my chances. I'll roll the dice. I feel like I already know what this Lakers team is, and maybe that's what it is for me more than anything else. I don't believe in this roster.
So
I don't.
Okay, let's say it happens. Let's say this whole deal happens and D'Lo goes. Does DeJounte Murray make this team better than Denver?
So I'm going to go back to what I said. Very strongly, most likely, no. But I don't think you don't know until you put these pieces together. If I'd have told you the Lakers last year went out and traded for D'Lo, Jared Vanderbilt, and Rui Hachimura,
they'd make the Western
and
Conference
Malik
Finals.
Beasley. Would you say that that's a team that's good enough to get to the Western Conference Finals? I'd say no. I don't think it's good enough. So I can't answer your question, but what you're saying is the best team in the Western Conference and the team that won the NBA championship. I'm not looking at that. I'm just clearly looking, how can the Lakers can they get to the number 6 spot? Can they find a way to just be back in the conversation with some of these other teams? And so far this year, it's really difficult to put them in those conversations.
It is. And I also want to know one thing. Like, if you get DeJounte Murray, does that mean you're done? Like, are you going to are you going to start changing everything? This whole offseason was about continuity, right? And bringing everybody back so they had the same
Which
team.
I think it was the right thing to do.
I totally agreed. It was the right thing to do. But what do you do now? So you bring in DeJounte Murray. You know what team you have and with the players that you have around there. Are you going to start blowing it all up again and trying to grab other people to?
You're talking about this trade deadline or off season?
No, this trade deadline.
Can I throw a player your way?
Sure.
How has Rui done this year?
I mean, he's been injured, so he's been up and down. And when he comes back, he plays well.
I think Rui has been the same player he's been his whole career this year. Now, he has gone through injuries. Lakers paid him for what he did in the playoffs. Right. They didn't pay him for what his career has represented. So, are you married to Rui Hachimura? And I'm just using that as an example.
No, I'm not married to anybody. That's why
I'm not
asking.
either. And by the way, Austin Reeves, the whole chatter of Reeves is untouchable. No, he's not. Why
Absolutely
would Austin Reeves be untouchable? There's nobody on this team that's untouchable other than LeBron and Anthony Davis.
Those two. Those are the.
And I'm not saying you just go get rid of it. I'm just saying that if you can improve this roster, they are. You think LeBron James is saying, guys, you know what? If it doesn't work out this year, no problem. Let's just kick the can down the road to when I'm 40. Do you see what I'm saying?
No, he wants to win. He wants to win now, and that's when.
And maybe there isn't a path to get there. That could also be the reality.
It could not be. But again, this is a team that was built for continuity in the offseason, but with LeBron being 39 years old and wanting to win another championship, as he should, and LA goes through moments, and it's mostly the fans, and I'm a part of that. You want the continuity. You want to keep You want keep the core together, but you also want that championship. So if it takes getting rid of everybody and just keeping LeBron and AD and changing everything, I'm all in on that.
Yeah, and I'm not telling you that that's the game plan or that would work, but I tell you, I thought it was the right thing to do in the offseason to have some continuity, to bring the players back. But they're not performing.
They're 500.
So that's if the Lakers right now were 10 games over 500, then we're saying, hey guys, let's not tweak this thing. Let's let this thing be. But you can't sell me on, well, Rui missed some games. Well, Cam Reddish missed some games. Well, Vando missed some games. You haven't seen Gabe Vincent. Go look at your top-line guys. Those are the guys that if they miss, then there's a justification for it. I haven't really seen a justification
against
for it.
Brooklyn. What I think AD was over 20, LeBron was over 20. I think D'Angelo was over 20,
and they got ran off the court.
Even
Against the Brooklyn
Austin
Nets,
Reeves, I think, had a good game.
Who had lost 14 of 17 games.
Right. They lost to San Antonio when they were on a 17-game losing streak.
You know who else they lost to?
Yeah.
Portland.
Yeah.
Who the Lakers just blew out.
And
so
looked
it's just kind
like
of the
garbage. That Portland team is not a good basketball team. In no sense was that a good basketball team.
Should be a fun couple 2.5 weeks or so before we get to the trade deadline. We got the dump coming up next. Stay right here. Travis and Sliwa Show, 710 ESPN.
It's time for the dump.
All right, on this day, 2003, Chappelle Show premiered. Were you a big Chappelle Show fan back in the day on Comedy Central?
I loved
Jorge,
Chappelle
were you
Show.
a Chappelle Show guy?
I never really got into it, no.
Never got into it?
Oh, it's so good. It was just hilarious. Every single one of his skits was just absolutely.
They were extreme.
Yeah.
They were, oh my gosh, is he doing this? Yes, he is doing this.
And they had got big-time names to go on there, too.
I remember the Wayne Brady episode?
No, he was in a bunch of episodes.
Okay, Wayne Brady.
The Prince episode is maybe the best one with Charlie Murphy. That's so funny.
Charlie Murphy, that character, as good as it gets.
Yeah.
Remember the racial draft? Where they're going through the draft. And
that was one of the most genius skits ever.
Okay, here
and
was
Chappelle's not the same guy anymore. His comedy has completely changed. From
it
back
has
then.
changed. It has changed, and just kind of his story about obviously how he stopped doing the comedy, how he stopped doing Comedy Central. He's a unique guy.
Yeah.
Long story short, also for those who were fans of the show, they had unbelievable music acts that. If you were a fan of hip-hop back in the day, right, and whether it was him bringing on Mos Def or Common or Talib Kweli or The Roots or, I mean,
dude, Questlove was always there.
He would have sets after that just kind of, there wasn't a portion of that show that you can tell he didn't have his fingerprints on, and if you were a fan of hip-hop, which he clearly was a fan of hip-hop, he got it
They
in.
did like a block party once, no? Like
That's right, they did.
Dave Chappelle's block party.
That's
and
right,
there was
they
a
did.
bunch of artists in
They
Chicago
did that in New
somewhere.
York.
Oh, was it New York or Chicago?
They did it in New York, but I think they did it in some
Right.
other places as well.
Yeah. Have you ever gone back and watched Chappelle Show, or did you watch it ever? Is that a thing for you?
Nope.
No? No, not. All right.
No Chappelle Show.
Oh,
No,
it's
not for-
really. If you should, I mean, you can go on YouTube and find clips of it. It's hysterical.
Okay, a couple things here as well. There was some, we didn't get a chance to get into it because there was a lot of other stuff going on. During the game yesterday, Buffalo
Which
and
game? There's a lot
KC.
of them. Okay.
Buffalo and KC.
All right.
It kind of blew up. It kind of blew up Twitter. And while I was doing the pregame show with Michael, we got the TV on. Crypto did something cool yesterday. They put the game on the Jumbotron.
Oh, good
They
for
put
them.
Buffalo and KC on the Jumbotron, which I agree. And I don't think, I mean, we are lucky enough to have our monitors in front of us because where we're sitting.
At SoFi, they do that too. Not
It's
usually
great.
with basketball, but they'll put up,
It's
whatever
great.
other NFL games going
If
on,
it's a 1:15 kickoff, they're playing
Yeah.
the morning games or whatever the case is. So it was a smart thing to do. And the Chiefs are driving, and they get all the way to the 1 yard line. We all saw the.
and this was also after that fake punt. So
After
fake
the
punt
fake
gave
punt,
them
that's
really
right.
good positioning.
And now
so
you're
they're on the
basically
30.
ending the game if you go up 2
It was
scores.
an end around McCole Hardman, right?
Yep.
And we start talking about it.
That was his second fumble, by the way, in the game.
We start talking about it because you're like, okay, hey, was he down? Was he not down? He wasn't down. Ball
not
goes
down.
out of the end zone, and I think Twitter just blows up from there where you were on one side or the other. Let me just say this.
Polarizing.
This. I'm open to get convinced on this, but when we were doing the pre, Michael and I were both on the side of, that should be a touchback.
Why?
Now it's Buffalo's ball at the 20-yard line, 25, wherever they had
It's
it.
ridiculous.
And Ireland was basically, this is the stupidest rule in the NFL.
Agreed.
And he had about 35 tweets from other people who were also saying that it's the stupidest rule. Where do you guys land on it?
I'll go first. I hate this rule. I think
Okay.
it's a stupid rule. There's no reason that if you fumble out of bounds in the end zone that the other team should get it and still go to the 20-yard line.
So what should it be?
It should be you still get the ball and it go where you fumbled the ball. It's right there.
So there's no repercussion
There was
for
no
fumbling the ball.
recovery. There was no recovery from the defending team.
Okay.
If the defending team does not recover the ball, they don't deserve to get the ball. If that ball goes out at the 1 yard line instead of going right past the pylon, it stays with the offense.
down at the 1 yard line.
It's down at the 1 yard line. If you fumble on the 20,
I'm listening to the pitch. I'm
and
interested.
Okay, if you fumble on the 20 and it goes on to the 19, the offense still has the ball. It's just because it goes into the end zone that you give it back to them and they get to move out of it. Now, if you want to get really into it, if you want to give the ball to the defense because it went out of bounds in the end zone, which is still stupid.
They got to get it at the 1?
At the 1, right where it went out, right there on the 1 inch line. That's where you get the ball because you're letting them. You're giving them an extra opportunity.
So
for
what
no
you're
reason.
saying is that's not supposed to be a turnover.
No, it's
you
not
don't
a
think
turnover.
that's the equivalent of a turnover.
For a turnover, you have to actually recover the ball. You have to either interception or recovery. You have to land on the ball. It went out of bounds.
Where do you land him?
So I think that generally my first
pitch.
instinct is
Thanks.
to be on the
Good
same
pitch,
side as Greg, saying this is a dumb rule. It's a bit, not dumb rule, that
It is
I think it's a little bit too punitive. That to put them on the 20-yard line, the other defense on the 20-yard line, is a little bit punitive. Maybe you put them on the 1-yard line, even if you want to treat it as a turnover. But we do treat the end zone differently than any other spot in the field. So they have special rules about the end zone, okay? So I understand why the end zone is a sacred place. This is scoring here. So what if, someone learns to bend this rule and thinks that they're going out, but they're just going to go, they're going to toss their ball over the end line, out of bounds, and then then they change that rule for nothing? I don't know. I just think that...
I mean, you can mess with any rule.
Exactly. I think that it is punitive.
Might be a little too extreme.
I think that it is. Most of our rules, though, benefit the offense. This is probably the only rule in football that benefits the defense making a big play.
I think John's idea, he was saying, and I'll ask him when he comes in, but I think John was saying move them back to the 20. So John was saying they keep the ball, have the Kansas City Chiefs keep the ball. Don't give the ball to the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, you can't do
but
that.
Move them back.
No.
Move them back.
Stay
But
with
isn't that
10.
better? Isn't that better?
I mean,
than,
it's better than giving it back to the defense, but still, it should stay with the offense. You don't recover a ball, you don't get the ball. That's just how it works. And I understand the whole thing about it being in the end zone. That's it's a good point, but. I want, and John's now walking in here. So
yeah, John, I'll let you because it was funny yesterday
I think it's one
how
of the
you
first
and
times I've been on
Michael
John's side.
how you and Michael were so instantly, and I was leaning towards Michael on this, and you're like, yeah, read all these tweets of everybody basically agreeing with it.
Yeah, I hate that rule.
It's a stupid
rule.
rule.
So what was your solution? If I'm right, your solution was KC keeps the ball.
KC basically keeps the ball, but they get penalized by taking it back to the 20. So it's
Taking
a
it back to the
20-yard penalty for following.
That's a massive penalty. Like
right,
a
but
10
it's
yards
better than not losing the ball.
Agreed.
No, but it's a reverse touchback. In other words, they go to their own 20 and they take it out. And so that way it penalizes you for fumbling the ball in the end zone, which is Michael's point. He says, the end zone should be like heaven.
Sacred.
It's really hard to get in. And are you still okay with this rule, Slee?
No,
I think
I was
it's changing. We're changing.
I was telling Berg, I was saying that I'm open to listen. I never really paid that close attention to the rule. It was just like, yeah, that's the rule, and that was it.
Right.
I think the more people are making an argument that is such a, and I think what you said, the fact that Buffalo does not recover the ball, nobody recovered the ball, so it's not a turnover.
It's not.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty extreme thing to do to a team that was at the 1 yard line and fumble the ball.
To not only get the ball, but you also get it 20 yards further up the field? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, so what would you do?
I would give the ball back to the offense on the 1
He's
yard
saying
line.
stay at the 1. He's saying they don't lose anything.
Yeah, I think you should
or back
suffer,
to where you started from.
You should suffer consequences for fumbling the ball into the end zone.
I'll give you that. Give me a 10, 15-yard penalty. That's totally fine. So if it's 10, 15...
Well, we're arguing over semantics now.
Sure, but I'm okay with the penalization in the end zone.
But I'm shocked at, like, this morning on Get Up, Mike Greenberg hates this rule. He's like me.
Okay.
He had on the set with him Rex Ryan, Ryan Clark, and Dan Orlovsky. They all liked the rule.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they of course all spent time in the NFL.
Offensive, defensive, and a coach, yeah.
Yeah, which surprised me because there's a competition committee in the NFL. You can change any rule you want. And the competition committee is all people actively employed by NFL teams. It's GMs, it's coaches, it's former execs that now work in the NFL league office. So they care. I mean, they want to do what's right for the game. Mace, do you like that rule where you fumble the ball into the end zone and the other team gets the ball?
Todd Gurley did it twice that I remember and screwed us both times. Yeah. I don't understand the rule.
It's a stupid rule.
I don't understand why.
It's too extreme?
Yeah, it is too extreme. Because you're
I'm leaning towards that.
Possession.
That makes sense.
All right, so here's my...
And giving him 20 yards.
Here's my idea.
The game yesterday.
Here's my idea.
Yeah.
Reverse touchback. So Kansas City fumbled the ball into the end zone.
Right.
All right. And it was, I don't know what it was. Let's say it was 2nd and 6, second and goal from the 6.
Right.
Okay.
All right. They fumble the ball into the end zone. All right.
3rd down at the 20.
Loss of down. It goes back to the 20. So it's a reverse touchback. You're heavily penalized. You're
still on their side of the field.
And it's
And
third
they still have the
down.
ball.
And it's 3rd and goal from the 20.
And basically
that's
now,
reasonable.
Huge penalty, but at least then you can get a field goal.
Yeah, I was
or
gonna
Greg,
say.
you get one shot to maybe get a touchdown. You're not like cutting everybody's head off here. It sounds like it's $1 million penalty for a 10-cent crime. You know?
Can we meet in the middle and then still stay second down, but you're on the 20?
Sure. I mean, I'd be willing to even meet you in the middle on that other thing you wanted, like a 10-yard penalty.
But that's a good penalty.
But I don't
that's a real penalty.
What I want to do is appease the people that like the rule by creating a huge penalty. I mean, loss of down, and you move the ball back to the 20. But it's not the end of the world. Because think about this. If Kansas City would have been driving to win the game, let's say they were down by 4 or down by 3, and that would have won the game.
Then that's ball game.
Then that's it. It's over.
Well, even in the context of yesterday, that was a gigantic play and could have led to
Kept
ball
Buffalo
game
in it.
easily. And what a way to lose.
If you spent 1 hour with Michael, do you think you would convince him if you had a 1 hour pitch on this?
Of course not.
Of course not. No, it's not.
No, like I heard you guys talking about the Lakers, and I'm being dead serious about this. Michael thinks the Lakers have 0 issues, and if they finish 10th,
oh my God,
they're going to win the NBA title.
I don't think he was at the game against Brooklyn, right? Was he there? Was he in the building?
He was there Friday,
right?
right?
He said you're making too much out of one game.
Oh my God!
Yeah. I mean, he'll be here tomorrow. He'll be here tomorrow.
They lost to a crap team on a weekend where they needed to sweep.
Not only was it a crap team, they got beat down. It was embarrassing.
They just collapsed.
Okay,
LeBron was over 20. AD was over 20. D'Lo was over 20.
I used to say Michael would make a good GM. I no longer think that.
No.
If he thinks that the Lakers have 0 issues, he wouldn't be a good GM.
All right,
I'm glad Rob is our GM.
Let's do some Supercross talk.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Mason and Ireland to join Travis and Slee?
Super Crosstalk begins. Super Crosstalk presented by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
What's going on with Travis? Why does he not like you guys? I mean, Friday he left.
But I feel bad. I feel bad for him. This was his day to play Riviera, right?
I know.
Yeah.
Riviera in the rain is not fun. It's very cold. The wind whips off the water, and he can't like say, "Oh, we got rained out. I'll go tomorrow." Because it's a one-day thing. So that's one of the things that sucks about golf is if, like, let's say I got a chance to play Augusta. If it's a driving rainstorm, that's it. I either play in it or I miss my chance.
A couple years
ago.
It's
like a Caddyshack with
the good Lord would never ruin the greatest round of my Dr. Beeper.
Now, was there ever a winner established that could play golf with John? Because originally it was I'm caller number 7. Can't make it.
I had COVID like 3 months ago.
That's, by the way, I've been in radio for 30 years. I've never, ever seen that happen. Have you?
No, and a super cool prize, too, right?
I would be honest
with you. Like, Mason and I have a running joke that if we gave away a bag of sand, every phone line would jam the minute we announced it.
Bag of sand. I just filled it myself.
And
it just can't be your bag of sand. It has to be the company's bag of sand.
Gotcha. Yeah. But I've never heard. I've never heard a guy like sign up for something, be eligible to win it, and go, you know what, can't go.
Okay, I'm going to let you guys determine this because when that happened, I was, incredibly confused. Where he's like, "Hey guys, thank you, but no, thank you."
Right?
I'll call you. Don't call me.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
I never heard anything else past that. So nobody else, told me what was going on in regards to that. So I have no idea who they're playing with today. I have no idea.
We know it's
Emily. Do you know? Or did she leave?
No, she's there.
She's there.
We know it's Travis
and Chris. That's it.
Was Tommy out there?
Tommy is here
Tommy's
today.
here working. So
Tommy's here today.
We know a twosome.
Yeah, and they may be the only two out there in this rain and this.
Can you imagine you guys give it away?
There is
Laker
another
tickets?
person. Yes, they are. They
found somebody.
Dustin.
They found somebody.
The guy wins your 5th row Friday Laker tickets, and then at the end says, "Sorry guys,
yeah,
I know I took all these notes and I got all the answers right and all that, but I can't make it that night. That's a bad night for me.
We're trying to stop people from calling in seconds and third times of trying to win.
Yeah, this is like the first time the opposite has ever happened.
What'd you guys think of the football games this weekend?
I thought that game last night was as good of a game as we've seen all year.
Great game.
I feel so bad for that kicker. Tyler Bass is his name.
Yeah.
Can he stay in Buffalo now?
Yes.
I think Scott Norwood had to move out of Buffalo.
Isn't he?
It's always right. Why is it always
Emily
right?
said
It's
he
always
deactivated his social media.
I would.
He did? Oh.
I
People are
would.
probably giving him death threats.
Yeah,
Could you
I would.
imagine?
I would if I was him.
Especially Buffalo.
Yeah, it's I was thinking about this. Professional sports, particularly the life of a kicker, is really the only profession that you'll be remembered. Your legacy could be your worst moment ever.
Mm-hmm. What do you remember about Mike Vanderjagt?
That he was an effing kicker, according to
Idiot
Peyton Manning.
kicker, yeah. What do you remember about Gary Anderson?
That he made all those field goals in a row and missed when it counted.
Yep, that's all. Scott Norwood.
Had
You
a
remember
great
the
year.
miss?
Had a great year.
Scott Norwood. You remember the wide right? That's it.
In San
Kickers,
Diego,
it's one job.
What do you remember about Ray Finkel?
Oh yeah,
Laces out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nate Kading in San Diego. That's all people remember. Nate Kading was missing field goals in playoff games. You're right, John. That's. It comes down to just that.
So let me throw that. Why did they not? Because you were critical of the Rams because they didn't. They went into the playoffs with Brent Maher at kicker.
Right.
This kicker missed more kicks than anybody in the league, and they still went into the playoffs with him.
Wait till I tell you why.
Okay.
9 for 9 with the game on the line.
Oh, we saw that stat right before he kicked it.
9
Oh, it's
for
always
9 with
it's
the
always
game
right
on the
before.
line.
In the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, he was 9 for Nine.
Wow.
And
it was
Carlson
not a
kick
long
in
so
Green Bay.
and so I think
The Carlson kick was another one, yeah.
But I think if you're the Bills, you say, yeah, he's missed some kicks, but to quote an old Shaquille O'Neal phrase, he makes them when they count.
Yeah.
And then sure enough, they get in a situation when it counts, and he misses.
I mean, it wasn't even that far. What was it? 44
42
yards.
Both of them. The Packers kick was reasonable.
40
It was
Buffalo's
cold
kick-
and it was windy, but high school kickers make that.
Okay, do you think that kick?
It wasn't
We were
tipped.
talking about this a little bit earlier. The
windy.
Bills kick.
I thought he pushed it.
The wind was put
to the left edge of the goalpost.
Right.
And knowing that it was going to move a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't even know, Slee, if he would have done that, if he would have aimed for the left goalpost, if that would have been good. That was so wide right that it might have missed anyway. I think he just pushed it.
Yeah, it's funny. We were talking about it yesterday. And listen, this is part of it's the Buffalo Bills, so it wasn't this shock. It's like, oh, yeah, that's what Buffalo does.
It's so sad for them.
I'm with you.
So sad
but
for
but
them.
was there
But how
a
about
point?
Mahomes? 6 AFC championship games in a row?
John, that had a lot to do
3
with it,
Super
too.
Bowls
It's not
already.
just that Buffalo is a team that has choked in predicaments like this. You got to go through Mahomes.
Right.
Everybody's got to go through Mahomes. Lamar Jackson has to go through Mahomes. And I wasn't shocked. I wasn't shocked
remember
that Buffalo
middle
lost
of
again.
the season, again, watching the get-up. What's wrong with Patrick Mahomes? What's wrong with Kansas?
know.
You know what? They're great when they need to be great. He's great when he needs to be great.
And Mahomes and Kelsey, now have more postseason TD passes than
17,
Gronk and Brady.
Gronk, yeah.
It's just Mahomes with the game on the line is like when I saw he only needed to get one first down, I stopped paying attention. I was working the Laker game, but we had that game on. I thought, one first down. Mahomes is going to do this
There
in
were a
his
couple
sleep.
of moments there. Stephon Diggs should have caught
Oh
that
my
ball.
God, that was a
The
65-yard bomb.
one
that
he threw,
dropped.
he sailed that ball.
By the way, do you guys see how far can Josh Allen throw
Yeah,
the
I
ball?
know. That
If
was-
he-
300 yards?
If he stood on one end zone, could he throw it to the other one?
Sure looked
He
like
could
it
get
on
close.
that play.
He had some.
I mean, I don't even know if I
arm.
could throw it to the 50. I think he could. Matter of
dude
fact, I'm
has-
pretty sure I can't.
But with Mahomes, like even if Tyler Bass does hit that field goal and they tie the game, there was still a minute
Buck
and
30,
45.
buck
yeah,
40.
I mean,
Mahomes-
he's
Well,
coming
that's
down
why
and he's scoring. Right?
That's why I think the people that are killing McVay, even if McVay would have kicked that field goal, and even if Brett Maher would have made it,
which was
the
62 yards.
Yeah, the line, but he's 21 to 34, 50 plus. He's good.
Yeah, but what is he from 60? I never thought that. But going for it, unfortunately.
But either one had the Rams either tied it. Had the Rams tied it. The Lions still had like 2 minutes to come down, and
go
they
make
had
it happen.
timeouts.
And Goff's playing out of his mind.
Are you
right
guys? Do you
No,
find
Goff has
yourself?
been
Do you find
great.
yourself rooting for Goff?
Absolutely,
Well,
100%.
well, especially now because he's playing the
Playing
Niners.
the Niners. my favorite team
they
is
should've
always
lost.
who's
Am I
playing
the only
Niners.
one who thinks the Lions are going to win that game?
I think they're going to win.
If Purdy looks like he did anything,
San
outside
Francisco
that last
looked
drive,
very
they're out.
beatable
And what's
on
the status
Saturday
of
night.
Debo?
Yeah,
And,
if he
a
doesn't
lot of-
play, if Debo doesn't play, that's a
The
loss for
Lions
them.
story is so cool, and I'm with you guys that I'm rooting for Goff as well. I mean, the success that he's having there, especially because the Rams already cashed one in. It's like, why would anybody
when
have
he was
anything
in
against
town-
him?
When he was in town, he was a punching bag. I mean, honestly, it's
Yeah,
great
right.
to see him go somewhere, earn his stripes, lead a team as far, have a game like he did in the divisional round, have a chance to go to the Super Bowl. Good for him. I'm rooting for him.
Hey, John, if Goff goes to 2 Super Bowls with 2 different teams, does that change your opinion on him?
He becomes Kurt Warner.
Yeah,
who's in the Hall of Fame.
Right. So
but Warner
cashed one in.
Warner
He
won
did get
one.
Almost
Right,
beat Pittsburgh
so
for
we'd
2.
have to win, basically. But either way, taking 2 different franchises to the Super Bowl says a lot about you.
If they beat San Francisco and they lost to the Ravens or the Chiefs in the Super Bowl,
But it's weird.
Give him all the credit in the world.
For some reason, in our sports fandom, we don't give credit to people who just make it to the Super Bowl. You have to win it. If you win it, like Eli Manning's going to get to the Hall of Fame simply because he won 2 Super Bowls.
But he beat Tom Brady at the same time.
Joe Namath is
it's
in
the circumstance.
Do this exercise. Go look at Joe Namath's career statistics. He has more interceptions than touchdowns. But because he pulled off the biggest upset in the history of the Super Bowl.
And called his shot.
Yeah, he's in. And he was Broadway Joe playing in the biggest market.
Wore a mink coat like no man ever could.
Yeah, loved to sling it. Had a lot of games with 4 and 5 touchdown passes.
That's a lot, too. 173 touchdowns.
Dan Marino's known for not winning it. Yep.
Right.
50 extra.
And so for whatever reason, you don't get a lot of credit. Goff probably has to win one if you're going to make a Hall of Fame case for him. If not, already you could say he's had a great career. Oh, I used to say that they screwed up the pick when they picked him number 1. I no longer think that. I think he's worthy of the number 1 pick.
Yeah, no, he did. Again, we don't give credit. He did get them to the Super Bowl in 2018.
By the way, same with Baker Mayfield.
Pointed at.
Baker Mayfield, good for him.
Baker Mayfield's been run out of 2 different cities, and then the Rams had him. He's on his 4th team. He's proven that he
Although
can.
I now believe that the Rams and Sean McVay fixed Baker Mayfield's career. If he didn't come to the Rams and get those 3 games, he was not going to get that job in Tampa.
And here's why. McVay is a human pinball machine. He draws up plays that generate yards and touchdowns. And Baker Mayfield can't be in a structured system where you just hand off the ball, throw it 10-yard out. Baker Mayfield needs to sling it. And when he's allowed to sling it, he plays well. And, Jared Goff is, for all his faults, he's deadly accurate. I mean, if he throws the ball into windows that I wouldn't even attempt to throw into.
Niners looked shaky. I think they got over the. They should have lost the game.
Yeah, no, they should have lost.
Packers should have won that game.
See, I'm thinking about 2 games.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about how bad they looked when they played on national TV against Baltimore at home. They didn't look like a Super Bowl team at all. Mm-hmm. And then Saturday night, they probably should have lost.
And now they're the favorites to win the Super Bowl.
Right.
After that.
Packers almost went 2 Dallas and 2 San Francisco. The same Packers team
that's why
against the Rams.
That's why it was so frustrating that the Rams lost, because the Rams, the way they were playing, could have beaten the Niners. Yep. And then, believe it or not, they end up in the championship game. And, who knows who they would have been playing against. But that's why I was disappointed the Rams didn't win.
Well, Jordan Love is going to be he's going to be a player in this league from now on.
Sure.
From now on.
And boy, is he going to get paid.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know what that last
Although,
throw was.
he sat there and he waited.
Well, you know what that was?
Rodgers.
That was a young quarterback. Jared Goff did that in the Super Bowl. He was a young quarterback
trying to make a play where there's no
just trying to make
body into the middle.
By the way, Greg, on second down, if he just would have thrown that out of bounds,
or just try to run, he could have done a lot of different things.
UCLA used to have an offensive coordinator named Homer Smith. He was pretty famous, and he worked at several schools. And Mason and I were buddies with Matt Stevens, who played quarterback at UCLA and used to come on our show all the time.
Just sideline.
And still does color now.
Yeah. Still?
He does color with Josh.
Good for Matt.
I think. And Matt used to say that Homer Smith, every time he would try something like Jordan Love tried, Homer Smith would say, "Live to play another day." I want you to, every time you think about throwing a pass that you think has a less than 50% chance of being completed, live to play another day. Throw it out of bounds, reset the table, and then you increase your odds. But don't do what Jordan Love did. He's just too young to know.
Probably learns from it. Real quick on DoorDash, you're not ordering anymore, right?
No DoorDash, no Grubhub, no Postmates, no Uber Eats, nothing.
I have no problem with this.
Yeah, no, I think Emily, she did it because the separation was good. Emily said she ordered DoorDash twice for dinner yesterday.
What's wrong with that?
Twice,
nothing wrong with it.
Twice on one day for dinner?
That's
Two
what
dinners?
Emily, I admire you.
That's what I...
Wait a minute, double dinner?
But there was a 4-hour separation. I didn't know there was a 4-hour
Mace,
separation.
I think she partook in what you'd like to partake in.
She admitted.
I watched Interstellar. I got really high, watched Interstellar, and had pizza and and
I
Chinese.
love that.
By the way, Emily, I would argue that's what Saturdays are for.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, I have to work every day.
And I bet you stoned. This is my experience. Interstellar makes sense.
See,
Did not
when
make
you're
sense.
not, it did make sense to me when I was stoned. Doesn't make sense in real life.
See, the difference is double DoorDash. Mason did that for donuts at one point, and 3 hours later, get Reese's peanut butter cups.
Again, nothing wrong with that.
All right, Super Crosstalk is brought to you by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out Burger, that's what a hamburger is all about. Mason Island coming up next.